Damn you, Andy.
Yeah, the goddamn beach. Ain't fair. And then my man's, he headed to the Dominican Republic. He was supposed to go yesterday, but he missed his flight.
Oh, my stepfather is in goddamn Brazil.
He's what?
He's in Brazil. He went to Rio de Janeiro.
Man, yo, I'm so mad, yo.
Right.
I'm mad about niggas going places. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo, right. My brother text me like, so Tony going to Rio de Janeiro. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, oh. That was random.
What up, Betty?
What up?
He said morning, guys. Oh, that morning went quick. It's BCGz time. Man, why, yo? Like people get to go places now. That's what we saying. All right.
I mean,
come on, man. Really? I just don't I don't know, B. Like every time look, you're supposed to feel happy. That's what they tell you anyway.
Sure.
When your friends get a chance to go experience some stuff, have fun, live vicariously through them. And I guess I see some value in that. But I also see value in hating. I also see value in hating.
Do you actually?
I mean, okay. On a small, I can see the possibility of it having value. But every time niggas leave and go someplace fun, and I don't get to go, I'm looking like, man, look at this bullshit. I could have just went on a trip. I could have just came back.
Yeah, it don't really matter. No, it don't really matter.
Are you going where? That's that bullshit. How was it that bullshit? I ain't going nowhere. You just came back. Still.
Don't matter.
It don't matter. It don't matter. But you know,
not at all.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. So it's what up, Bowflex?
What up?
Officially 3 minutes after 11. So unless you got any reserves about that, I'm about to do this intro.
Oh yeah.
Me. Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SPJ.
You.
And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective.
Thanks.
Facts indeed. Now, quickly, I want to shout out my man Adequate. Talked to him yesterday with his goofy ass. Talked to him on the phone yesterday with his goofy ass. I'm definitely shout him out today. Also, that's it. No, listen. Also, I want to both let's say me. Look. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Cindy and making it really easy for me to hate on her today. Sending me a video of her at the beach and shit. Like, so y'all get to go places now. That's what's up. That's what's hot. All right, cool. Yeah. It's time to go on another trip somewhere. Yeah. Now I just got to find some trip money. But anyway, we are back.
Yeah, it's a new week, a new episode.
Yeah.
And we in here.
And for you, a new house.
Well, I mean,
Nigga, that's still new. It's gonna be new for 6 months. Fuck that.
I mean, listen, no, you're right. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue that. But yeah, it's we're settling in.
Yeah. Settling. What do you think about the view where you're at? Like, do you like the area?
Man, ain't no view. I mean, it's a secluded. Yeah, I mean that's technically the right word. It's blocked off from everything, so it's not like
nice.
There's woods around me, not any that I would really
count as woods
traverse. I don't think it's not like trails or anything. Like it's not a hiking trail or anything.
Right.
Just trees,
wood.
like
trees
and wildlife. Mm-hmm. Not wildlife, but actually maybe it's likely some wildlife.
Yeah.
And bushes and other foliage and whatnot. I mean, if I look out the window, I see trees and houses. So not great.
Right.
Not terrible.
I mean, the secluded part is always nice. It's always nice. Yeah. Now, I know for me, the next time we move, which will be in another year or so, we get the fuck up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely want to find something. About to go? See you, monkey. I want to find something just kind of like this, in that it's not connected to another house. Because this was a good experience, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Like, at least that part of it.
Yeah.
That part of it was a good experience. Not being connected to other houses. To this day, I still pine over that home in Silver Spring. Although I know you don't.
No.
You went like that's a long drive. But it was nice, man. I wish we could have got it. It was nice. But nice neighborhood. It's not that this neighborhood is bad. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
This is not a bad neighborhood. That neighborhood was demonstrably better. Demonstrably better. Like rolling hills of green lawns. The only thing that I think that would have that's not better than than this. It had a backyard, but not really. There was no fence around it. There was, that's about it. House. What up, DJ? What up, Stella? But it was 5 bedrooms, 2 kitchens. The finished basement was bro, with the fireplace right down there, and then there was a whole other storage part of it that like a long dumbass hallway that had a nice width to it, and they left these wardrobe cabinets in a row right there, good condition. We left it there, and I'm like, so we can have all the storage? Oh man, yo.
Bro.
It was nice.
You mentioned the whole detached thing. So I'm not detached, but I am the corner unit. So actually, the only thing I'm actually worried about is me disturbing my neighbors, because the studio is on in like this is where the corner is. So I'm not attached to another house in the studio, but in that living room. The living room spans the whole width of the building, so I have my surround sound hooked up in the living room. And, nigga, when that bass kick in, I'm surprised. No, I'm surprised I don't have the noise plate yet. But in my 8 years in that apartment, I was saying the same thing. And I never had. I was not trying to turn it all the way up. I wouldn't be able to handle turning it all the way up. I would absolutely get a headache if I turned it all the way up. There's no way. Like Nah, there's no way I could absolutely turn it all the way. I was trying to see how high I could turn it. Listen,
y'all finna get evicted.
Hey, that ain't gonna happen. We gonna get. I'm gonna get the people next to me evicted before I get evicted.
Chris said he was like, "Let me stop before something break."
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I legitimately don't think. I've had that system.
You think the cups and shit in there start breaking and shattering and plates?
Nigga, the TV might have fell off the wall or something. Like, the crazy thing is, in this argument between digital and analog, if taken care of, analog things, and of course there's some digital involved in it, but analog things are just. I've had that surround system for probably 12 years.
Wow.
And it still works the way it's supposed to work. There are no issues with it.
Well, what I'll say to you about the analog versus digital is that for me, analog sound will always be more enriching to me than digital. Because the one thing with analog is, like, zero is not absolute in a recording process.
Right.
Sometimes the clipping adds warmth to it, whereas with digital, zero is absolute.
Right.
Like if you go,
but also,
that's it. You're going to destroy the audio. Right?
The technical aspect of that. Also, there's the thing about noise, because people in general tend to think noise is a bad thing. So with digital, you can get silence. With analog, it's much harder to get actual silence.
There's always that little hum shit.
Right.
Hum shit. Yeah.
Right. So that's a big thing.
As you make many attempts to crack your walls, and
I was absolutely scared something would happen. That's why I might have got it goes to 100. I might have gotten it up to like 65.
You play a lot of games over there.
I mean, you know how like there are certain things that exist that have volume and it might go to 100, but there's a point where the volume doesn't actually increase anymore.
Exactly.
I don't feel like that's what was happening with. No, every time that I went up, it kept increasing.
You might split the space-time continuum and shit, and shit start coming over here from other universes and shit. It should be like,
oh my god,
it'd be like the movie The Mist and shit. And these motherfuckers start coming through here. Fuck that.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness, that shit is ass.
Yeah, so I don't. That's my only issue with being connected on just one side. I wouldn't want to be connected on both sides, but with being connected on one side, my issue is I don't want to bother my neighbors. Like,
yeah, I feel you.
Because I've never really been that type of person. Like,
me either. Like, but I mean, I'm sure I may didn't intend to do it, but did it anyway.
Right.
But when I had the corner house, all right. So there's levels. So you got the being connected on both sides. Trash, don't like it.
Yeah.
Then you had the corner. Oh, all right.
Right.
Little colder in here, but all right.
Yeah.
And then to me, ultimate. Not gonna keep both sides. Right. I'll keep your asses over there. Shit. Leave me. They call the fuck alone. You know what I'm saying?
All facts. All right. Let's get into it. So, first, I would be remiss if I didn't. I don't even know if you know this yet, because it happened. Well, it was announced today. Rico Wade passed away.
What?
At 52. So, for those who don't know who Rico Wade is, he's a founding member of the Dungeon family. If you don't know who they are, actually, he's the one who recruited Andre and Big Boy into the Dungeon Family. If you don't know, if you don't know what the Dungeon Family is, basically acts that came from that group include Outkast, CeeLo Green, Killer Mike, Future. There's a list. Absolutely stellar.
52 though, bro.
52. 52. So literally, with no hyperbole, without him, Atlanta's place throughout hip hop would look drastically different. Drastically different. So I just want to give a quick RIP to Rico Wade, because that's crazy.
It is.
Cause of death hasn't been revealed.
Oh shit! But 52. That's just
52. That's crazy.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. So, and like he was, well, so he was another part of Dungeon Family that, if you're listening to this, you absolutely know. You just don't know. You know.
Right.
Is Organized Noise. That is the production team. I think their most famous beat they did is the TLC song Waterfalls. So they're the imprint that he was involved in leaving on popular music in general.
Right.
Because you want to say rap, but CeeLo is a different genre than Outkast is a different genre than Future.
Right.
Is. So especially since this episode is going to be so hip hop oriented, it was definitely appropriate to get that in there.
Absolutely.
Before we started. All right. So
I'm probably gonna be fussing.
All right, so very rarely do we combine a main topic with a dumbass of the week. However, even more rarely do we have several entries and entities that fit both. So dumbass of the week goes out to J. Cole, J. Cole stands, people who love J. Cole, people who love J. Cole but aren't fans of hip hop, and those who are completely pardoning his behavior.
J. Cole, aka J. Fold.
Okay, all right. So you mentioned this before we came on, and I feel like this is a good time to actually talk about this.
Okay.
Subjective versus objective when it comes to art, right? So you were saying that, you see people that refuse to argue about subjective things.
Right. Well, at least
the biggest issue. Right. The biggest issue with that argument is that is ignoring the fact that this is an art form and a discipline.
Wait a minute. I need you to say that second one again.
It is a discipline. There are things that you learn as you endeavor to participate in this particular thing. So you can have, it's like I say about movies. I always say this about movies too. Like I'll defend this to my death. It's okay to like a bad movie. Because you like a movie does not make it a good movie. It does not mean it was executed well. It does not mean that the script is a good script. It does not mean the dialogue is good. It does not mean the actors did a good job.
It just means you liked it.
No, it just means you liked it. You enjoyed it.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nope. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Same thing translates over to hip hop. You can have whatever type of hip hop, whatever subgenre of it that you prefer is up to you. That's completely subjective. However, there are certain things that are involved with it that are not subjective. You like Belly. Belly, yeah, I think Belly fits. I think Belly fits into that category. It's not a great movie, but I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. So, like, for instance, since I've like come to that conclusion, I stopped publicly referring to any artist as trash. Now, if I'm talking to certain people privately, I'll still use that word because we understand it's a shorthand. We understand what's going on.
Also, a lot of the people that you would talk to about that actually engage in the discipline.
Right.
So there's a different like you don't people that are involved in the exact same enterprise have a certain way of talking about that enterprise that people outside of it don't.
And I'm glad you said that too, because that does not just mean people who do the thing
are the only ones that can talk.
It also means other students of the thing. Facts. You can be a student of something and not participate in it.
Facts.
You absolutely can. 100%.
Right.
That's the thing people leave out when they get into arguments that devolve into, well, you ain't do this, so how can you say anything about? Or I saw it this very day. I forget what the argument was about. Oh, it was about wrestling. Somebody was talking about Jade Cargill and talking about how bad she was in the ring. And somebody, even though I don't agree that she's terrible in the ring, but somebody made the argument, well, you haven't had any 5-star matches, so who are you to judge how good she is in the ring? A fan! What do you mean? I'm someone who enjoys watching and studies what's going on.
Yeah, I've literally watched thousands of matches.
Right.
I've seen how the ebb and flow of them. And because I'm not a complete chucklehead, I've learned things from watching how they do what they do. And I can honestly say to you, she's not shitty in the ring. She's just not super polished. She's loose. She's loose with a lot of her maneuvers, and it'll get tightened up over time. Because one thing about the WWE, yeah, they're gonna
train you. Right? She's gonna get whipped into shape. And it's like, bro, like the idea that only people who have done a thing at the highest of levels can have an opinion on it is preposterous. It's so fucking pretentious, like, bro. Because your argument, the logical conclusion of your argument is that you're not doing it for the fans in any way, shape, or form. Right. Like, to say you're doing it for yourself is great. That's cool. That's all. That's amazing. Claps for you. Bravo. However,
that's only
if you're releasing it, right. If you're releasing it, you are doing it for the fans. I don't give a fuck what you say.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. It's just like the thing where once you release art, it's not yours anymore. Right. It's the same exact concept. Right. So, moving on. For those who don't know, Kendrick Lamar came out and threw a grenade at Drake.
Hold up.
A couple weeks ago. He threw a grenade at Drake a couple weeks ago, and some shrapnel hit J. Cole. Some shrapnel.
It was one little. Well, listen, I ain't gonna lie. That piece of shrapnel was a decent size.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It was a decent size.
It was damage.
It didn't kill you though. Like he didn't kill you.
Yeah, it wasn't. There was no way. Yeah, you wasn't losing the arm or nothing. Like that's not. Yeah. It was on it was a verse on a Future song called "Like That." Cole responded with an entire song called 7 Minute Drill that he released April 5th on a project called Might Delete Later. It was a dope song, but it was just a warning shot, just a little tap tap. This is the first place where I would like to address niggas. Anybody saying that this song was whack, I do not want to hear anything from you on this topic. You are clearly being disingenuous. Right. Yeah, you're clearly being disingenuous. You don't understand going on. Anyone who doesn't understand that this was not intended to be a knockout blow, not those who were mad that it wasn't, just those who didn't understand that it wasn't. You have no business here. Yeah. You don't know enough about rap beef or the players involved to sit at the table. Like, sure.
Right. Some of us are just
observe. Sometimes you can just watch.
Facts.
Sometimes you can just watch. You can just watch and enjoy the show.
Observe and learn, young Padawan.
Yeah, that's it. It's just think of spades. In black families, you don't just let anybody play spades. You don't let the kids just jump on the table. You make them watch and learn and all that other. Think of it like that. So, back to the timeline. In the song, Cole has a portion that is a callback to Jay-Z's classic diss song, Takeover, where Jay-Z rated Nas's discography and questioned his current relevance in the rap game. Cole did the same thing to Kendrick. Again, real quick, let me address niggas. Y'all came out the woodwork when Cole said that To Pimp a Butterfly was boring. Y'all called cap. Here's the thing, though. Y'all right and y'all wrong. More on how y'all were right later, but as we just talked about, music is art. Art is subjective. There is only one Kendrick Lamar album that I've only listened to once. That album is To Pimp a Butterfly. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of the album. Mm-hmm. I understand how much it is revered. I understand how much niggas love that album. But when I heard Cole say it, I was like, well,
I'm glad you addressed that, because here's the thing. I've only listened to it once as well. There is a sentiment that J. Cole was tapping into by saying that, because again, folks, remember, these are early jabs, feints.
Right.
That's what this is, right? So J. Cole caught a little graze, right? So he threw something a little stronger than a graze, right?
Right.
And he was utilizing, this is strategic. A lot of people don't realize the strategy that goes into this. He tapped into feeling from a segment of the audience that felt like To Pimp a Butterfly was boring. There is a segment, and when it dropped, like, I know people got short attention spans, but there was a segment of the audience that was saying that, right? So he tapped into it because it's smart. You instantly get people on your side by addressing a criticism that they have said and thought have been saying all these years, along with one of your jabs. You know what
so I'm glad you explained that. I'm glad you explained that, because it goes into a point that I'm gonna make later, but I'm just gonna reference. J. Cole knows what the fuck he's doing with a pen.
Yes.
I want to make that clear. At no point in this entire shenanigan am I saying that J. Cole is not nice. Yeah. J. Cole is dead nice. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, To Pimp a Butterfly, wasn't a fan of it. Even I'm going to appreciate it a little. So here's the thing: I don't have an issue necessarily.
Brooks said this, and this is true about a lot of albums that come out.
Absolutely.
And he wasn't a big fan of To Pimp a Butterfly either, but he's grown to appreciate it a little more now.
And that's honestly why some people probably don't like the album, because they only listen to it once.
And also we do live in the era of microwave music.
Mm-hmm.
So people want that instant gratification.
Right.
A project, and they dig in it and they say, damn, this ain't really for me. I'm not getting that immediate.
Right.
Back in the day, you had to sit with that shit. You had to sit with it, right? And the level of appreciation, in other words, would be like, you bought an album, you listen to it, it's cool, but you wasn't really rocking with it. Then a little while later, you go and listen to it again, and now it's not even the singles; it's some of the cuts, the album cuts on there that got you. This shit is dope. This shit is dope.
Thanks.
It bees that way sometimes, you know.
Yeah, it happens that way. So at no point in no way am I saying it's a bad album. It's just not for me. I'm not a fan. I've tried to listen to it more than once. I've just never gotten through it more than once. So back to the timeline. Cole had a show on April 7th. And at that show, he apologized. Now, he apologized for the song and said he was taking it off of streaming platforms. Now, of course, this went platinum on the Twitter streets. I'll be summing up the takes that I've seen from different categories of people, and then we can address each as we go along. Mm-hmm. So, cue the super serious about everything people. Quote, "This is more of what we need to see in the Black community. Instead of division, we need to see more Black men apologize and take accountability for their actions."
So can we just pause right there for a second? Show of hands. How many people here thought that because of these bars going back and forth, there was going to be an incident where J. Cole went strolling to Compton with the burner and about 20 dudes and was going to do something to Kendrick? All right. I don't see nobody raising hands. Let's reverse this. How many of you thought Kendrick was going to take a trip down to the Carolinas, find J. Cole, and do something ugly to him? How many? Right. These are bars, my guy. Yeah. Bars. And these guys are supposedly friends, right? Yeah. Now, there is a line. I'm not saying it's not. There's a line. You can say some shit in your song, right? It could cause a nigga to want to put hands on you, right? But this was not the expectation that anybody had. To try to attach these social ills that happen in the urban space with these bars, it's a reach. It's a reach.
I saw one this very morning. Hold on. The way everybody handling this cold shit let me know most of y'all are psychopaths. Do you understand niggas really die behind this beef shit? Especially niggas. Do y'all really want to tweet RIP? And my response was, yet another dummy with an outlandish hypothetical.
Yo,
because of everything you just said.
First of all, salute, because that's a perfect retort, right? That's a perfect retort. Let's frame the equivalent of what he's saying. Let's frame it.
Mm-hmm.
You go into a store, you purchase something, right? You leave out the store, and if you look in your bag, you see that one of the things you purchased is not in the bag. The cashier didn't put it in the bag. You say to your wife or husband or significant other, "Hey, we got to go back in there because they left my shit." Whoa, these things tend to escalate. We talking about going there. If you go in there and accuse him of not doing his job, arguments happen. You know, the manager of it, he might lose his job, then he get mad at you. Next thing you know, y'all beefing in the street. Looking at yourself.
Effectively, might as well.
What the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
It might as well effectively have been that. All right, so
come on, bro. Y'all gotta stop. Man,
from that first take, right? My takeaway is Cole felt the way. This is not an indictment on rap beef, though. More on that in the next point. After this next point, because few people who are, ironically, generally fans of artists and not the actual art form. Quote, "Y'all just mad at Cole because you care about drama and not the art. We don't need any more violence because of rap." So before you say anything, let me go down this list. So y'all don't know enough about the history of rap beef to know what you're talking about, and it's alarmingly clear.
It's alarmingly clear.
All diss tracks can be considered rap beef. There is a small subsection of it where the people involved had actual real-life beef. The vast majority of diss track exchanges end with zero violence.
Yeah.
The vast majority of diss track exchanges that do involve violence are from people who know each other and have actual issues that have nothing to do with rap, and that started before a single bar was thrown in either direction.
Absolutely.
Even when people know each other and have real life issues, it still doesn't always end in tragedy. Look no further than one of the latest podcasts to take off to the mainstream. It is what it is with Cameron and Mace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point.
You're being disingenuous, DJ. You're being completely disingenuous with these particular people. There is no way. There's a zero. I'm willing to say there's a 0% chance that a rap beef between Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole would evolve into violence.
Yeah, I don't,
like, come on now.
Like
you're being disingenuous with that.
But no, this is the problem, and he may not be being disingenuous as much as there is. You said this before on the show about people are bad with numbers and percentages, right?
Yeah,
they're bad with it. So if you look at this particular situation, right, and you put it on a chance of violence index, right, as opposed to no chance of violence, you could squeak out a 0.5%, right? Chance, maybe.
Sure, absolutely.
The vast majority of that percentage is no. The issue people have is they want to take the 0.5% and put it on the same level as the more likely thing. It's a false equivalency, and I actually see it happen a lot more than people care to admit. I see people doing this. They take the small and place it on the same level of chance as the other shit, and it's like, no, that's not how.
I'll look at it from a micro perspective and use a single individual.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Budden has been in 75 million rap beef. Joe Budden had hands put on him by Raekwon and them. It had nothing to do with rap.
Nothing to do with what he said.
It was because of an interview that Joe did.
Yep.
So if, and of course, this is not representative of the whole. However,
wait a minute, is that a representative of the interviews? Like, y'all niggas should stop doing interviews.
Because again, talking about interviews, 50 and Ja. That was an interview. That was an interview. Like,
hold up.
There's a couple.
Remember Everyday Struggle with the Migos? Not a single bar passed from Joe Budden's mouth, and yet they almost got into that shit when they did.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand. Oh, hold up. There's more. Let me see. Where we at? There's more. So so when people started expressing that hip hop was built off of competition, here come this one that I don't know his name. Apparently he's a semi-big rapper. I have never seen this nigga name before. I only found that out because I explored his post and saw what people were responding to him with. And it was a couple people that I do know saying, like, they don't know who you are and blah, blah, blah. Like, they wouldn't be talking to you like this if they knew who you are and blah, 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 blah. So, when people started expressing that hip-hop was built off of competition, here come this nigga talking about, quote, it wasn't, and y'all need to learn your history. Here's a prime example of someone being obtuse. Instead of trying to argue semantics, which is what he was doing, what he should have done is just thought about it for 10 more seconds and he would have understood exactly what people were saying. Nobody in good faith was saying that hip-hop was built solely off of diss tracks.
Right.
Which is the point that he was trying to refute. But to refute the actual argument, which is that competition is a building block that is woven through the DNA of hip-hop, would be disingenuous to try to argue against that. It would be if you knew your history.
I'm gonna give you guys an example of how it doesn't necessarily have to be a diss track to be considered competition. So early on in hip hop, it wasn't about the rappers. It was about the DJ.
Yo, wait. Yes, hold up. That's my next point. That's my very next point. So, I would. So before I get to that though, I would go even further than saying woven through the DNA of hip hop, and I would suggest that this might be a hot take for some people that don't think about it, but please indulge me and think about it before you disagree.
Try to refute it.
I would argue that every form of being / every form of expression of the culture of African Americans has the spirit of competition flowing through its veins, be that righteous competition, natural competition, fun competition, or the competition that was forced upon us during slavery. Right.
I would go even further
to the point about.
I would go even further than that. I would say that competition is an intrinsic part of what it is to be human, thanks to evolutionary biology.
Survival, facts.
Yeah.
Sheer survival. Yeah. So back to the hip hop thing.
What up,
DJing?
Sis?
What up? DJing, rapping, graffiti, breakdancing. Those are the 4 pillars of hip hop. Anyone suggesting to you that in those formative years of this culture, that competition wasn't an extremely important and prevalent aspect, they are either lying to you, gaslighting you, or not qualified to speak on the matter.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
I agree. Again, like you said, just even the DJ part, when the rappers would get up there, the first thing they would do was big up their DJ. They would say he's the best DJ. Excuse me. When you start throwing
shout out to Cut Creator.
Facts. When you start throwing around the best DJ means he's better than the rest of them. This is intrinsically a competitive sentiment right here, right? So it's literally ingrained into, like you said, woven into the intrinsic part of what hip hop is. And while anything can be taken to an extreme, and that's never good, we can't now act like that's not part of it, because, dare I say, just because some of you guys may have been brought up a little different, where conflict resolution was actually something that was like focused in on to show you how to. That doesn't mean all of us was that way. I grew up, conflict resolution in my era was punching you in your fucking face. That's conflict resolution. All that other stuff, I'm not saying it didn't exist. You know, people talking you down, saying, hey, this ain't the best way to kill. Yeah, it did, but there was like penalty and reward. And this music came, developed in urban centers that were impoverished. And in a lot of these impoverished areas, there's reward, there's penalty. In other words, if somebody does something to you and you do nothing back, the societal penalty for that is you're a punk. And now we all see you as a punk.
Right.
Whereas if you do retaliate, at least there ain't no punk, and you get a reward from just the perception of your peers, right?
Well, here's the thing. You said societal. You could even bring it to physics. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion. If you allow something to happen to you and there is no recompense for that thing, it is likely that things will continue to happen to you.
Or what's that other thing? It says that emotion, something that stays in motion, tends, especially out in space, if it's going, until something stops it,
it's going.
It's going to keep going. It's going to keep going.
Thanks. So next, cue the false equivalency people. Well, Jay-Z apologized to Nas, and look where he is in life now.
How many years?
So for those who don't know, there is this song called Ether. Ether is the gold standard for hip hop diss tracks. That's not to say it's the best diss track of all time,
but it is like that.
Standard. Right. It just simply has become literally a verb in the vernacular. That means to destroy your opponent in a rap battle. One of the reasons is because it directly caused Jay-Z to release one of the most cringy diss tracks of all time called Super Ugly. Ironically, this song has the line, and this goes to a point that we were making earlier, this is not beef. This is rap, homie. I ain't got a scratch on me. Again, that goes along with the last point we were making. The track was largely underwhelming, but there was a part where Jay claims that he had sex with Nas's baby's mother shortly after the baby was born. Jay's mother told him to apologize, so he did. But they continued to go back and forth lyrically after that point.
Yeah.
J. Cole apologized for questioning Kendrick's discography and his relevance. These are not the same thing.
At all.
These are not the same thing. Next, cue the J. Cole stance. Oh, he didn't really apologize to Kendrick. He was apologizing to himself. I did a TikTok video about that one because what the fuck are you talking? Like, what is wrong with you? So he said, Cole said the words, I hope my nigga didn't feel a way about this. And if he did, my chin is out.
My chin is out.
For those who don't understand, the sentiment, that's an apology. That's a mea culpa. That's, hey, I did you wrong. You can hit me back. Go and get your lick back.
Go and get your lick back. That's
absolutely an apology. Like, what are you talking about?
Bro, didn't Biggie tell you what beef was? Didn't Biggie tell all of us what beef? If you was confused about what beef was, didn't Biggie tell you? And then didn't Royce come back around on Death is Certain and reiterate what beef is? Like,
absolutely. So like, come on, like, what are y'all? Can we? All right, so
can we not
in that video, right? In that video, Cole made 3 apologies. He apologized to himself, he apologized to his fans, and he apologized to Kendrick.
Yeah,
that's just factual.
Yeah,
there's no. The craziest thing about it is the video, because I stitched the video. The video that I stitched started off by saying something like, "Of course, the media isn't showing the whole apology." Man, if you saw the whole apology, you would know that he absolutely did apologize to Kendrick. Like, what are we talking about? Anyway, next, Q Kendrick stands. Yeah, I knew Cole couldn't handle Kendrick. That nigga trash. All right, slow your roll.
Hold up. So
slow your roll.
That's how I know you don't like rap. You don't really like hip hop. That's how. If you say J. Cole is trash at rapping,
I can't listen to you.
You don't like. I can't take you seriously. I can't take you seriously.
Like, what are you talking about? It's obvious that J. Cole isn't trash. I honestly don't even think he's scared. I legitimately think he felt bad about lying. In his apology, he expressed that basically he lied about how he felt about Kendrick's discography. And that is what wasn't sitting right with him. And to be clear, the whole thing about accountability and being able to apologize absolutely is true. DJ, that doesn't really matter.
No,
that's not. Yeah, that he's Jay-Z is his favorite rapper.
I know.
So yeah, it's cool. You can here we go. Subjective versus objective. You can prefer Takeover. Yeah, absolutely. Because Takeover is I would argue that if we were ranking wherever they are,
disrespect,
they would be 1A, 1B. Yeah, like they would be like right next to each other, regardless of which one you put on top. But objectively, the coaches said Ether.
Yeah, the coach said Ether. Like,
so that's what we going with.
Right.
Like, I probably like Takeover better. Yeah, I probably like Takeover better. But the coaches said Ether. So that's like nobody says he's about to take over him. Nobody, not a single person. Not a single human being has ever said that in the history of hip hop. Niggas be talking about niggas ethering people.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think that's demonstrable.
Yeah, it's not really an argument that we can have, so it's cool. So here are some other random thoughts, a list of other random thoughts, and of like how I feel about the whole situation. Cole has spent years.
How many?
Especially the last 3. Some would argue longer, but I would say if you want to make the strongest argument you can make, you would only use the last 3 years or so.
Right.
He's been arguing that he's the best, that other rappers don't want smoke, and how he would kill anyone who does.
Excuse me. Before you continue with that, didn't he once make a reference to Ali?
Oh no, probably more than once.
You know, for those of you that don't know, maybe don't realize this. Had Ali just sat on his hands and talked shit and never punched the motherfucker in the face, he would have never gotten the reputation that he got. So when you allude to being Ali, it's not because you're sitting on your hands talking shit. It's because you be throwing them things.
You're in there. You active. Right.
Throwing them things. Right.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Here's the thing. For people who feel the way that we feel, it wasn't questioned. It wasn't looked at as weird because nobody was fucking doing it. Nobody was stepping up to him because
that nigga was getting on features, demolishing people. Demolishing them.
1000%. So it wasn't questionable. Like when Tory was running around doing that shit, that was questionable. That was questionable. Some people say he beat Joyner. I don't know. I didn't. Well, sure. But I still like I'll put it like this. Some people say that Tory beat Joyner, but when Royce entered the chat, Tory shut up.
Yes, he did. Shut the fuck up.
So
shut the fuck up.
That's all I know.
Yeah, he shut the fuck up. Yeah.
So let me see what else. People are saying that this makes him soft. I do not agree with that. But here's the thing. Why is it that we try to just avoid accountability at all costs? People out here talking about it didn't sit right in his spirit, and this is what someone who's found inner peace looks like, and other things that will be a result of doing long-term work. But think about the process. Cole had to write the song. Oh, a little bit of backstory on that. 7 Minute Drill was not a reference to there being a part 2. A lot of people were saying that because the song happened to be 3.5 minutes.
Right.
People were saying like, "Oh, there's going to be a part 2." No, 7 Minute Drill is the thing that Cole does. He sees if he can write a 16 in 7 minutes, and with his producer T Minus, Cole's a producer too, but with T Minus, he also challenges T Minus to go ahead and make a beat in 7 minutes. So this was one of the results of them doing that drill. So that's why it's called 7 Minute Drill. But he had to write it, and T Minus actually did an interview on this, and he said that he made the beat. He gave Cole 7 minutes. He came back in the studio. Cole said, "Give me 7 more minutes." So he wrote it. Then he had to record it. Then he had to listen to it. Then it had to be edited, mixed, and mastered. Then he put it on that project. Then he set that project up for release. Yeah, there are a lot of steps available to him to not release the song. I always say that I'm more willing to forgive what a person says live versus what they say through like text message or email, because there's way more time to think when you're typing something out than when it's just stream of consciousness. Right. Stream of consciousness, I can forgive a little bit because you might, there might be a glitch in the system or whatever the case. You might have just been
quick, like angry, and it just bullshit came out.
Yeah, that happens. But if you have to type up and send something,
it's a little different, though.
I'm gonna believe you. Right. I'm gonna believe you. Like what you did. So, like I said, there were a lot of stop points available for him to not release that song. So I have to call cap on this. Because if he felt so bad, why would he release it? Releases take a couple days to happen. I think Spotify takes anywhere from 2 to 5 days whenever I release something. Now, some might hear that and say, well, he's a famous rapper. It probably won't take that long for him. Bet. I'm glad you said that. That's kind of my point, though. Because when he apologized for it, it was April 7th. He said he was taking it down. It takes about 2 days for me to remove something from Spotify. I verified that by removing one of my older, lower quality songs. Tuesday is when I initiated from my phone. Took me 5 minutes.
Right.
That's when Tuesday I initiated from my phone. By Thursday evening, it was gone. Last night, around 5-ish, I did a search for Cole's project, and it was still there. And the song, 7 Minute Drill, was still there. And I noticed something. That song had outstreamed the next closest song on the project by 2 million streams. And it outstreamed the least streamed song on that project by about 9 million streams. Around 6:30, I checked again, and the song was finally gone. Okay. But why did I bring up the streams? A couple reasons. The streams prove how anticipated this situation was in hip-hop. The only reason I could think why it would still be up for so long is if he was actually as conflicted as he made it seem, and it didn't actually sit right with his spirit, would be for monetary reasons.
Yes.
I'm not saying at all that he's strapped for cash. I know better than that.
It's not. He's worth like $60 million.
Right. But I checked several different Spotify royalty calculators, and based on what the streams were when I checked, he has made anywhere between $35,000 and $64,000 off of Spotify for that song alone.
We're not talking iTunes. We're not talking none of the other streaming services.
Just Spotify.
Just Spotify.
And just for that song.
Right.
I'm gonna address that in a second, DJ. So another reason he might have taken so long is because of first week sales. Friday would have made a week.
Yes. Yep.
And that would, that whole thing.
So wait a minute. Before you do that, I gotta say, for those of you who take issue with people calling J. Cole soft or scared, you know, in this art form, there are consequences to doing what he did. Mm-hmm. One of those consequences is you're gonna get hurled accusations of being soft and being scared. That comes with it. And this ain't really, if this is just a very noble thing on his part, nobility is typically met with these sort of accusations. So when I see people attempt to make a sacrifice where there's no pain, it's not a sacrifice.
Right.
It's not a sacrifice. You're going to get those. I know y'all trying to throw pieces of the culture away and throw it in a black hole somewhere and act like they never existed anymore because they're on some new shit. But this is still an intrinsic part of the conversation. Yeah. If somebody swing, then you swing. And then when they get prepared to hit you back, you go, oh. You know what? On second thought, I was out of line, yo. Like, people gonna call you soft. They gonna, it's what it is.
I didn't mean it.
But you hit me. Hit me right in the.
No, I didn't mean it.
The pimple butterfly, right there. Hit me right in the.
I would never attack you with a pimple butterfly.
But that's also why Cole said, if you want, my chin is out there. Because he recognized he
understands
a punch. He threw a punch that was harder than the punch Kendrick hit him with. Come on, bro.
Absolutely. So with all that, surely if he was truly sincere to the level of his defenders were saying he is about this particular thing, then that song would have been gone much quicker.
Yeah.
It took you almost a week to get
in general, there's a lack of accountability from the fans, from his fans about that shit. It's a lack of accountability because now everybody wants to be MLK. But when you was Malcolm in out there, like it was all good. When you was Huey P. Newton out there. It was all good. Now everybody MLK, got you. So I want you to keep this same energy in your life. In your life. Right? Admire it enough to be like that in your life.
To be fair, there were absolutely some J. Cole fans that are actually fans of the art form.
Yep, I saw it.
And they responded to this in ways that I was like,
expected from a fan of the artwork. Yeah.
He said, what was this one? Chris. Just Chris. I hit him up. Well, I tagged him in a post when all this went down. He said, I can't even try to make no excuse for him. That was weak to me. Why engage if you felt like that? Or maybe just a marketing strategy to sell. Album name might delete later. Either way, that's weak for you to tap out like that. I would rather him not have responded at all.
At all. Don't say anything. I mean, he did say he felt like he was bullied into doing it, right? That's what he said.
Yeah, but that's
I think it's cat.
Here's the thing. If you're gonna call him weak, that's what you call him weak for. Because if you felt that way then and you still did it, that makes you weak. That is what makes you weak. Because nobody can make me, bruh, you are the boss.
You're the boss.
Nobody could make me say something that I don't want to say about somebody that I'm close with. It's just not going to happen.
Or somebody that I'm not close with. Like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. That's it.
So here's the thing. DJ said Cole just doesn't want to fight for the crown. That's all. It's cool. Here's the thing. Big three. Right? I told Chris. J. Cole ain't 1 or 2.
Nah.
After this.
Nah.
He can't be.
Nah.
He can't be. And I'll even go a step further. If he continues to do this brolic shit about people not wanting to step to him and all that, he's no longer in the big three at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's cap. It's cap at this point. We've demonstrably seen that it's not true. You're lying. Sir, are a liar.
Rap about butterflies from now on. Rap about the peace, tranquility,
what you need
and
to do,
black unity. Do that.
In my opinion. I ain't nobody. But in my opinion, on my list, if Cole wants to stay inside of the big three, he can't be above 3. But if he wants to stay in the big three, he needs to, for the rest of his career, because he said he's retiring with that next album. For the rest of his career, he needs to go back heavy into concept rapping.
Agreed, bro. Agreed.
Best concept rapper.
That's
that
what I'm saying, bro.
Be.
Like, yo, make important
facts.
Make important
facts. If he does that, then he can stay in the big three. If he go back to this killer featured blah 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 shit, no, you out the big three, homie, because you lying. You're clearly lying.
And let me just say this too to Rosenberg from the Ebro show, because I watched something the other day that was some of the most disingenuous bullshit I have ever seen. Now, to quote SBJ, I'm a nobody. I ain't nobody. Except for somebody that's older than rap. Saw this shit.
Right.
When I saw Rosenberg get on that show and try to play dumb about the idea of who's on top or the crown, as if that is not a sentiment that's been in hip-hop for the longest fucking time. I'm the king of rap. What are you? No, this is you allowing your fandom of the man get in the middle of what you know. Because Rosenberg, we don't like Rosenberg. But Rosenberg is a hip-hop. Sure. He knows better than this. He knows better than this to pretend that this is some arbitrary. It's not arbitrary. We know through consensus of the culture. For instance, there was a time when Ice Cube was the guy. This does not mean the best rapper ever. No, he's the guy. Right. All the attention is being funneled up to him. He's getting all these big opportunities because he is the one that if you put his name on something, the level of engagement with that thing goes through the roof more than anybody in that current era. Right. The guy. Jay-Z was the guy at one point.
Yeah.
LL Cool J was the guy at one point. Run DMC were the guys at one point. So for you to sit there to pretend just to protect your fandom of J. Cole that hasn't been the thing, it's cat. And you know it's cat. And I'm glad Ebro called that shit out.
Right.
You know better.
Most egregious among this, especially these J. Cole fans, the problem is J. Cole and Kendrick have been sending shots at each other for the longest time. Ever since the Control verse, when Kendrick, J. Rock, and Big Sean put out that not J. Rock, J. Elect, J. Elect, Kendrick, and Big Sean. It was Big Sean's song. It was supposed to have been Big Sean's song, but clearly, the only thing people was talking about was Kendrick's verse. Right. So ever since that, matter of fact, hold up, because I did a video on this when it first came out. Where are we? So I want to express these points to the audience. Where are we at? I have so many notes and stuff all over the place. Oh, so this video, I'm just going to read the contents of the video. So I started this off with a J. Cole line on a night I was born, the rain was pouring, God was crying, lightning struck, power outage, sparks was flying. That is an opening line from just one of the string of amazing verses that J. Cole has dropped over the last few years. He spent the better part of 3 years telling us that not only was he the best rapper alive, but that he would destroy any rapper who dared step up to him. Cole and Kendrick have sent shots at each other. Cole and Kendrick have sent shots at each other indirectly over the years. The first direct shot was from Kendrick on the Control verse. I'm usually homeboys with the same niggas I'm rhyming with, but this is hip hop, and them niggas should know what time it is, and that goes for Jermaine Cole, Big Crit, Wale, Pusha T, Meek Mills, ASAP, Rocky, Drake, Big Sean, Jay Electron, Tyler McMillan. I got love for you all, but I'm trying to murder you niggas. Cole absolutely responded with lines here and there, and they've been going back and forth ever since. But this one was different. Like that, left no ambiguity, and the entire verse was a diss. Now, it was mainly aimed at Drake, but there was clearly a stray for Cole, and more importantly, it was the first time someone shot at Cole since he's been on this run. So what did he do? He dropped a warning shot / love tap. For all of y'all who said it was trash, y'all bugging. It was intentionally a light jab to set up the real hip hop. What real hip hop heads have been waiting for a while. But high quality back and forth sparring in the mainstream. There was just one problem. Cole messed up. And then after the send a light jab, there was a whole song. He ended up lying about how he felt about Kendrick's discography, and seeing the response to those lies, Cole was distraught about what he contributed to. So about 8 hours later, he apologized. People want to talk about growth and maturity and how he's found inner peace, etc. You are all delusional. Nobody put a gun to his head. He wrote, recorded, and released this song. Cole will forever be one of the best writers ever. But this move means that for the foreseeable future, hip-hop heads will look at him a bit funny anytime he tries to claim supremacy moving forward. Big three, and he ain't one or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to express that. Like, seriously, like at the end of the day, right? Like I said, fandom is one thing. Fandom is one thing. And I get fan is short for fanatic. I get it. But the reality of the situation is he may be your hero, but as you can see in the graphic here at the show, your heroes have no power here. A lot of y'all are delusional about this. A lot of y'all have this feeling of a lack of accountability for your heroes, and that's not how this works. Y'all know how hip-hop works. Y'all know how hip-hop has been worked. You know the sentiment. Yes, are there outliers? Absolutely, there's outliers in everything. And y'all can attempt to do what y'all do with percentages and take the small percentage and try to make it the equivalent of the big percentage. But y'all know that this is the sentiment in hip hop. And some of you that are arguing for the change in hip hop, first I want to see a change in yourselves, because right after this conversation goes away in a couple of weeks and nobody's talking about it, I'll witness some of you MLK motherfuckers on here being warlike online with motherfuckers you don't like. So let's stop the cat. Let's stop the cat. I don't want to hear y'all all of a sudden found religion on peace and hip hop. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it because I don't see it no other place in your fucking life. You can play that shit with these other motherfuckers who have this short attention span and only going to listen to what you're saying right now and take it for what it's worth. But I'm saying beyond what you're talking about now and what you're going to be saying and how you're going to be acting 2 months from now. When I casually scroll across a post of yours where you are choosing violence rhetorically, we're gonna see then if you gonna be like J. Cole. Don't you think you should apologize to that person? Look, this famous person doesn't know you, but you got here on social media and you talk shit. Go to their Twitter and apologize.
Right.
Stop it. Right. Stop it. This is cap, and you only doing it because you look up to dude. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And you look, y'all.
Which you still can.
You still can look up to him.
You still can look up to him.
He's still a phenomenal writer. He's still a phenomenal writer.
No question.
But we're not going to act like this has not ever been part of the culture and the conversation. The conversation. Because a lot of this, that's what it is. That's why we keep having these dumbass Mount Rushmore conversations. It's all about that. Like people being able to take data points, and they feel like, hey, I have this data point over your favorite. I think this guy has this over this. Because sometimes they so close. At the end of the day, it take a data point.
You got to quibble.
You got to quibble. This has always been the conversation. And for y'all to act like now that this is not the conversation or we need to elevate past our higher selves, I hear that dumbass shit. so 2 months, I need to see you living that in your life. I need to see you living that in your life. Keep that same energy.
Yeah.
When you get on there and complain about some shit that happened when you went to a store and they ain't do right by you, I'm going to come right under your post and go, it's time for you to elevate the conversation, big.
Right.
You think you can elevate about them feelings you feeling right now?
Right.
I'm tired of you motherfuckers. I'm tired of it,
so
man.
I wanted to bring this up because it's hilarious because funny enough, Tim and I were, Tim and I are always talking, but Tim had recently, like maybe an hour before, if that far, sent me a meme about the person who only comments on your posts when they have something to disagree with you about. And when he sent that, we had our laugh and whatever, and then time and life moved forward. So I posted, so the first post that I referenced earlier is, and the title of the song is actually, the title of the podcast is the name of a J. Cole song. And I said, how J. Cole go from Let Nas Down to having the last words of Nas's first career resurgence apply to him? Quote, Pop should apologize, nigga, just ask Kiss. Those are the last words of Ether, the song that we referenced earlier. So a little bit later, that was a serious post.
Yes.
A little bit later, because of the spirit of what was going on with the larger conversation and with the conversation that I was having personally with people, I came with a little more of a jokier post. I said, even crazier, J. Cole had the smoke for No Name, who is/was a female rapper. Also, one of his first singles was Crooked Smile. More lyrics from Ether. Y'all niggas only concerned with dissing women. Were you abused as a child, scared to smile? They called you ugly. 2024 turning Ether into a J. Cole diss definitely wasn't on my bingo card. So, somebody who I don't know, don't show, don't care, somebody who I do not know, have never seen a day in my life, have never interacted with a day in my life,
right,
happens to be Facebook friends with Eddie, who I tagged in the post.
Yes.
Said, well, he discussed
Random
No Name on the song, but I wouldn't call it this. He also tweeted positively about her afterward. Darling.
That's not, see, yo, what? Darling.
I know. I know. Snow on the block. So I had to, and of course she never responded, but I had to express to her, because clearly she's not familiar with me. So I had to express to her that I'm well educated and versed on what I'm talking about. Clearly, Snow on the Bluff, which is the song in which J. Cole referenced No Name. Well, not even referenced, addressed No Name. Snow on the Bluff wasn't a diss song. Just like Crooked Smile wasn't J. Cole complaining about his teeth. It's just a joke. It's just a joke. Crooked Smile, the song wasn't a thing about him crying about how he was treated as a child. That's not what Crooked Smile was. Crooked Smile was an inspirational song. Like, what are we talking about? I'm aware of this. I know. I'm not one of them. And to her defense, people do this shit all the time. So maybe she just assumed I was just like everybody else. But I am not one who pulls random factoids that aren't actually true out of the thin air, and I don't know.
Or not relevant.
No. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Come on. Can we not?
Bro, but see, again, she don't know you. But at the same time, too, a lot of that, sometimes, and I'm not saying that I'm never wrong about this sort of thing, but sometimes I see the sentiment. I see the sentiment behind the statement. And it's like, it's sometimes, I'm not saying it's the case in here, but sometimes it's people trying to pull a victory from the jaws of defeat, or at the very least, pull a, it ain't that bad, because they like the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying, the comments and the think pieces that were written at the time when he discussed No Name on there was prevalent. Y'all just got short attention spans.
Absolutely.
The whole idea about he don't read all that.
Right.
That was
also a point that people were trying to push with this whole thing, which is another the two reasons that I brought up No Name were, one, because I made that first post, that the legitimate, serious post that I made about the correlation between the lyrics of Ether and what's going on now. Yes. The rest of the song went through my head. And that line, y'all niggas only concerned about dissing women, that line popped up in my head. But also, the people that were defending J. Cole were talking about, oh, if you listen to his songs over his career, you knew that this type of thing was going to happen, and he's not that type of rapper. He's a conscious rapper, and blah blah blah. In Snow on the Bluff, he expresses that I am not a conscious rapper. This is what y'all put on me. In that same song, that's why I referenced the No Name thing, because of the. And I'm not foolish enough to think that everybody will understand the thought process that I put into everything that I say. I'm not. That's not the point that I'm making. No. The point that I'm making is I'm not even that big a J. Cole fan. Like, I love J. Cole's music, but I'm not the nigga that's grabbing every single thing he does and listening to it 500 times. That's not even me.
These people
so the
claim
fact
that
y'all
they're doing
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like
that's that my issue with it.
That shit is crazy. If this man comes out his own face and says he's not a conscious rapper, and then y'all trying to apply these things to him when he himself says that's not what he is. Like, I don't know. All I know is this is what we know. A, we know that he said he wasn't a conscious rapper. B, we know he's been shooting at people, imaginary MCs and real MCs, for a greater part of his career, talking about ain't nobody can't see me, and this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. Now, for those of you that are of the uninitiated, this is something very common in hip hop, where rappers will attack fictitious MCs. MCs that don't, they talking about MCs in general. They're not talking about a specific, they're talking about MCs in general. That absolutely happens. But
hold up. Keep talking.
But the point is, this is something that's done. And when you say these things, these words have weight. Because what happens is people who are listening to you and become a fan of your music and can recite every line you say, what that's building up in their subconscious is that, oh yeah, somebody steps to him lyrically, he's gonna destroy him. And we got a good chance of knowing that he's gonna destroy him because we got a body of work that's dope as fuck with dope metaphors, punches, all this other shit here that leads us to believe, yeah, boy, you don't want to go at him because he gonna do something to you lyrically and make you regret ever saying something to him. So then when it's brought to you and you don't do that for whatever reason you deem necessary, valid, whatever, the part of the conversation is going to be, but you was talking all that reckless shit for the last such years, and then when you finally get stepped to by somebody who's potentially on your level, you ain't going, how come you ain't? But this ain't.
You're real sheepish.
You're real sheepish. That's going to be part of the conversation, and y'all need to stop acting like it wouldn't have been. Or trying to crush it. Trying to, let's put some dust on this fire real fast. Nah, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. No, it's something to see, and people gonna say it. People gonna say it. Fuck out of here.
So I was going to do another video, but I never did it, and I don't feel like doing it now, so I'm just gonna read it. So basically, I said for those who've been living under a rock, J. Cole has apologized for putting out a diss song about Kendrick 40 hours after releasing it. This is high-key unacceptable in the lanes that they travel in. And all of y'all who make excuses for your favorite celebrities when they misstep, and y'all who aren't hip-hop heads can step aside for this one. I keep saying this one sentiment that is cute on paper, but completely misses the mark, either because people saying it fit into one of the aforementioned groups, or they lack understanding and critical thinking. Yes, it takes a big man to admit when they are wrong and to be accountable and all that good stuff. Yes, it's great to promote peace between black men, but this ain't that. And ironically, y'all claim to be Cole fans, but are doing the things he's asked y'all not to do. You're putting him on a pedestal. Quote, what J. Cole did might not be good for hip hop, but it's most definitely good for the black community. Our culture desperately needs to see black men apologizing and showing maturity. End quote. No, competition is not immature. And that's all that was coming out of this. Y'all don't know the difference between people who are beefing, rapping at each other, and rap beef. They are not the same thing. One of the pillars of hip hop has always been 2 words. I'm nice. That tends to go from I'm nice to I'm the nicest to I'm nicer than all of y'all to I'm nicer than specifically you. That's it. That's all. There have absolutely been examples of people throwing diss tracks at each other and violence accompanying it. But if you do your research, 9 times out of 10, those people were beefing long before music got involved. For you J. Cole stands out there, it's okay to admit your man had a misstep. It's crazy that he can admit he's wrong, but you can't. Ooh. I'll use one screenshot. I didn't shot. For the better part of the last few years, Cole's been running around throwing subliminals and talking about how he's the best, and that if anyone stepped up to him, he would destroy them in a war of words. Let me read the screenshot because it goes with the goddamn thing that I was saying. But to your point, I want to reiterate the part again. Hip hop has long had as a pillar those 2 words. I'm nice.
Yeah.
I'm nice. Goes from I'm nice to I'm the nicest to I'm nicer than all y'all to I'm nicer than you specifically.
Right.
That's how that works. That's just how it works. I didn't make the rules. I just
observed. You know what's crazy though, bro? The fact that you had to break that down is what annoys me. The fact that I know it was necessary for you to break that down, it annoys me. Because there are certain things that if you have truly been involved with this culture in any way, be it as somebody that produces the music or someone that is a spectator, you already know this shit. You already know this shit, but now you're trying to obfuscate this whole situation because this is one of your faves. And trying to make these, like I said, these Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream speeches about niggas just throwing bars back and forth at each other. And I find it to be kind of, I think it's a little disgusting. I really do, that y'all hiding behind that. That's like when somebody starts some shit out in the street and there's a personal issue between one man and another man. and they handle it whatever way they're gonna handle it for motherfuckers that didn't come out, because one of these people is obviously wrong, did something obviously wrong.
Right,
y'all to come out then and try to tell the person that was wronged, but man, we got to stick together because shut the fuck up. This man has been personally wronged. Now, until that gets addressed, he ain't trying to hear none of that shit that you saying.
No. And to be fair, it being addressed sometimes is him just letting it go.
Right.
Sometimes that happens. Absolutely. Right. However, it's kind of difficult for you to tell him that he has to do that. That's kind of wild.
He's been wronged. And for y'all to, the moment you start coming up to somebody and start quoting the words of Buddha to them, and ain't nobody trying to hear that shit in the middle of a fight. You ever see that movie? You ever see that movie Tombstone? The Western? There's a part in there that's very relatable to me. So they go down to the OK Corral. Shit start cracking, right? Bullets start flying. And then one motherfucker that was clearly involved on the other side of this situation tries to run up in the midst of the gunfight and go, I'm sorry. He was like, hey, either get to fighting or get off the field. Right. Some of you, I got some of y'all niggas pussy. I'm just putting it out there. Some of y'all ain't getting to fight in your fucking life. You don't y'all lack a certain understanding about that side of human nature.
Right.
Nobody's trying to hear that shit. Once somebody, I'm gonna keep it real with you. The first time a motherfucker steals me, and there ain't nothing if he didn't sleep me, there ain't nothing you can say that's gonna stop me from going in his mouth. Nothing. Y'all acting real crazy, and y'all acting brand new. That's what it is. Y'all niggas acting brand new. Y'all acting brand new, yo. Y'all acting brand new.
All right, I found it. Here. So I had one screenshot that sums this all up because, like I said, it might have been the most egregious and delusional. She says, y'all wild. That man is being exactly who he has always been, and y'all mad. He let the pressure to get to him and responded, realized it, and did what it took to put him back in a good mental space. That man can still write circles around your favorite rapper. Relax. This is simply kept. For the better part of the last few years, Cole has been a menace, running around throwing subliminals and talking about how he's the best, and if anyone stepped up to him, he would destroy them. She also is interpreting his words instead of taking them at face value. Cole specifically apologized for downplaying Kendrick's discography. He had every intention to spar.
Yeah.
But when he saw the public's reaction to what he said, he felt bad. That's it. He saw, and I saw it too. You saw people online talking about how, this shit, To Pimp Butterfly is one of the worst albums ever, and blah, blah.
He opened the gates. He opened the gates. So he opened the gates for that shit. And it was a sentiment he doesn't personally feel. Right. So now he opened it. But I got to say, y'all be going to extremes sometimes. But that was part of the conversation at the time when that first dropped.
Absolutely. 100%. Yo, one thing I will say that I do enjoy about the evolution of how, not this specific situation itself, but how the whole rap beef thing has evolved.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that often when we talk about a person's impact, we talk about certain things, and it's like with some people, with some legends, sometimes it's a little harder to gauge what their direct influence was. I feel like this one might be attributed to Jay-Z because the thing now is, even when you are dissing someone, a good portion of the time you never say their name.
Yes.
And the thing about that is, back in the day, we would have called those subliminals too.
That's true.
But because of how direct it still is now, it's not a subliminal. Like, you're clearly talking about this person,
and like it's become a literal tactic now, because if everybody already knows who you're talking about, do you really have to say it?
That's a line or two that you don't have to use.
Yeah.
You now have an extra line or two to craft whatever death knell you want to craft.
Yeah.
To send at your opponent. I'm for it.
That's true, bro.
I'm for it. Like, because what actually originally made me realize this was the whole Drake and Meek thing.
Yes.
Because when Back to Back came out, there was zero chance that it was someone else.
Facts.
Zero chance. But
Facts.
he never said Meek's name.
He never said his name.
Not once. But every single line had some reference that everybody knew about me. I came here to Ray playing ARN. Who's ARN? He's a big guy in Philly. That whole thing with the connection in streets and the people saying that Meek's not actually a street guy and all this other type stuff. Is that a world tour or your girl tour? Meek was on tour with Nicki Minaj at the time, who he was in a relationship with. It was actually her tour. Like these type of things, stuff with the Kendrick verse, talking about For All My Dogs. What was Drake's last album? For All the Dogs. But the big three is just big me. Everybody knows who the big three is.
Everybody know who he's talking about. Right. But you know what?
I like that. I enjoy that.
I do too, and I think everybody else does too. There's a certain amount of fun that comes to, oh, you know what we're talking about. Like the discuss. Mm-hmm. But this also brings up another thing for me. I have felt that, especially because of this situation, that really illustrates it. My further appreciation for battle rap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because one thing people can say it's uncouth, they be doing too much. It's a lot of fuckery gonna happen in that industry. It's true, but that can be said of the mainstream music industry as well.
Thanks.
One thing I'm gonna say about the battle rap culture, so to speak, they be going in. Some of these conversations that we having right now about appealing to our better angels and all this other this non-violence, we should be not choosing violence. All of this is not a conversation in battle rap. He said, "What about me?"
That's
fact.
Yo, these niggas friendly as fuck.
They love each other.
They super friendly. They love each other. They spend so much time around each other, chilling, making music, hanging out. I just saw a picture of Chess, DNA, and Teddy Rock. They went to WrestleMania together.
Yes.
Like, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about.
Rock and DNA went to war. They went to war.
All three of them.
All three of them.
Chess and DNA was an amazing back and forth. Chess and Rock was an amazing back and forth. DNA and Rock, they had a saga.
They had a saga, bro.
So, like, what is this is the perfect counterpunch to the bullshit that has arisen as a direct response to J. Cole apologizing and his fans not wanting to hold him accountable is there's an entire subgenre.
Yes.
Where they say some of the worst possible shit that you can say to a person. And just like I said about rap beef earlier, the amount of battles that result in violence is minuscule.
Yeah.
Compared to the amount of battles.
Right. And they be, I'm telling you, they talk about each other's kids. They go in, and then even the imagery in their raps is violent.
Yep.
They allude to guns and people getting shot or beat the fuck up or stabbed, their heads cut off, or the shit Briz Rothstein used to say in his rhyme.
Bro.
This is the stuff of nightmares.
Facts.
Truthfully, the battle rap community, they're eldritch abominations when you compare them to mainstream rap. They are hideous monsters that don't even belong in this dimension. And I did notice the sentiment of a lot of these people that are trying to find ways to turn the Kendrick and Jay thing into something that it wasn't. And I contrast it with the battle rap subgenre, and I'm like, yo, y'all really soft. I'm sorry. You are, you really are.
I'll use somebody as an example because I know Rock got like 64 battles.
Yeah.
Rock has been in a physical altercation, let's say 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
And how many SMDs be coming out of Rock's mouth, yo?
Nigga.
How many? Yo, I'm talking in the ring, outside the ring, on Instagram, on Twitter. Come on, man.
Before battles, after battles.
After battles.
Yeah. So probably got like 25 battles or so. Not a single incident.
Yo, and it's a lot of them that's like
got about 20. Yeah, Hitman got about 20. He had that one incident with Bill Collector, but I don't even think Hitman got physically involved.
No, that was just show out. And that wasn't even at a battle. This was literally out. This is some shit that happened on Twitter. Something that Bill said that maybe Hitman took out of context or whatever, and then they wind up that situation wound up happening and shit. That's it, man. That's it.
So and these are people whose entire persona, as far as their character that they play for entertainment, is violence.
Yes.
Is violent. Danger. Is gangster.
Yeah, it's dark.
That doesn't apply to J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah.
That's not their personas.
That's not this, bro. It's not. We got literal gang members in battle rap.
Right.
Come on, man. Like, I just
Speaking of which, Geechee ain't never been in no goddamn fight. Geechee got like 70 battles.
Geechee big crip. Big crip. Nah, yo, like I said, man.
What are we talking about?
But it just goes to show that when you contrast what this is to what actual battle rap is, it makes this even more laughable of people responding to this way. It's laughable. Wasn't nobody gonna get killed, Smack. Wasn't nobody gonna get killed, Smack. They were just throwing bars back and forth.
No, hold up. I want to do one more example, because this is going to be the one that kills the argument completely. Who is the person who people say is the most volatile in history and has proven to be willing to engage in fisticuffs? Math Hoffa.
Yeah.
Math Hoffa has been in physical altercations with at least 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
Some and 3 of them were during the battle.
Yes.
Those Diz Serious. That's 47 battles. So the most violent battle rapper with that violence being connected to the battles has only a 6% violence rate.
Can y'all relax? Can y'all just relax? Seriously, can y'all just
what are we talking about?
Like, it's not, but see, this is also another point about perception becoming reality, because much in the same way people will complain about the news media that will only show a certain side of a community, right? The violence, the crime, this and another. But when you dig into the actual percentile, there is a minuscule amount of people percentage-wise in that community that engage in these sorts of crimes. But if that's all you show, look, this happened, look, that happened, look, this happened, as opposed to all the other times when people just walk down the street, mind their business, go to work, go home, do whatever, right? It does leave a perception in the mind of people who don't have intimate knowledge of these areas and these people that, wow, boy, it's crazy around there. And even we do it, right? Because we do it based off potential for violence. So me and James come from Emerson Village on the west side of Baltimore. If you've never been, if you have no experience with that, let us assure you there's violence going on. There's violence going on around there, right? But it does not happen every day. And everybody that lives in that neighborhood is not engaged in it. There is a subculture of criminality in that area, and they are the ones committing the crime. And there's a smaller percentage of those people than the rest of the people that live in that block. The reason we'll say is crazy is because of the potential for violence. We've seen great violence in this neighborhood before and more than once, right? So the potential is always there. But in truth, this is not something that happens every minute of every damn day with it. That's not what's happening. But by the time the news media picks out this, I forget which year it was, but the first murder in Baltimore that year happened on the corner of this bar. It's not Mount Holly. It's a little further up than where Mount Holly is, but on Emerson Avenue, right? And it has one of the police lights up there. First murder of the year happened right there. So when the press talked about it, they talked about it in that way. They said the first murder in Baltimore this year happened on such and such in Emerson Village. That's a lasting impression.
Absolutely.
Guess what happened the next day?
100%.
Nobody was murdered. Day after that, nobody was murdered. No one was right. No one was murdered. But all it took is for them to highlight that. The neighborhood I used to live in before I moved here, Laurel. I lived there for years. Very little crowd. Like, you don't even see people hanging out on the corner anywhere, right? It was one murder. All the years I lived there was one murder that happened around there. And when the press talked about it, it looked bad. Questions I would get, was it? No, it's not. This is a peaceful ass neighborhood. And the people that did the murder don't live there. It came in, murdered somebody here, right? But all it takes is somebody who doesn't know about the area to see that and go, damn, that must be that's how rap music is. Like, we have these very highlighted and spoke about incidents, Pac and Biggie. Right, we have these. And then, of course, I would say that in more recent times, we've been seeing more deaths of rappers in a certain subgenre of rap, like in drill music and shit like that. We've been seeing that. That's incontrovertible, right? Like, that's a thing. Absolutely. That's a thing. But before that, it wasn't that many. It wasn't.
No.
We had people beefing. Their fights did break out. I remember one big fight.
Hey, one would argue that the whole Biggie and Pac thing wasn't about rap.
No, that wasn't about rap at all. That wasn't about rap at all. That was about one person.
Depending on who you want to listen to. Right.
Yeah. So that all start. Well, it could have started before then, but from what we know, the public knows, man went to supposed to meet up with his mans at the studio, and all of a sudden he get robbed and shot. So now he don't know who to fucking trust. After that, like, hold up, nah. Y'all said you
set me up. To be fair, when you put out a song, and then to be fair, after that, when you put out a song who shot you, that kind of doesn't help the situation.
I mean,
no, it don't help the situation.
That was just metaphor.
Oh. All right. Niggas, man.
Can y'all elevate? Like, seriously, like
so
y'all made me mad with that this week. Really? All y'all
listening. It was when I saw
hold you to that.
When I saw that, it's not that I was surprised that this happened, but when I realized that this story had the legs that it had, I was like, oh yeah, we gotta talk about it on the show. We gotta talk because it happened Sunday night, the day after the show. So it's like, oh, this might not even be a thing by the time we get to the show.
No, it's still a thing now. I think this is.
I just saw an interview with Kiss.
Yes,
talking about like I don't know why he would. Kiss so funny.
Yeah, and if anybody that talks about it,
he would do.
Listen, if of all the people that would talk about this, may I reference some of you back to the Jadakiss Beanie Siegel wars,
bro.
Let's reference you back. Go back and listen to the salvos that were thrown back and forth, bro.
Yeah, but every subsequent issue that he's had, as far as rap beef, no violence.
None.
No violence.
And trust me,
why?
I tell you, him
because
and
niggas grow up at a certain point.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's a very simple concept that people tend to not understand. That, believe it or not, niggas do grow up at a certain point. Like, it really is a thing that happens. We're talking about two 36-year-olds. We're not talking about two 19-year-old hotheads that's running around with guns on.
16-year-old hotheads, right?
Right. Yeah, yo, like, what are you?
These grown-ass men with kids.
Two grown-ass men with wives and kids.
Yeah, stop it, man.
Like, come on now.
They wild.
And again, it has never been either one of their nature.
You know what's going on, right? Because I heard this reference too. This is PTSD from Pac and Big, yo. I heard them reference. I heard a reference, and it's like, yo, this ain't that. Somebody.
So why instead of Pac and Big, do y'all not go Jay and Nas?
Or this might, well, maybe I know why they're not gonna go back because it's way too far. LL and Kumo D. It wasn't a single punch thrown. It wasn't a single punch thrown. And trust me, they did many songs against each other. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah. Actually, I think I know the answer to my question. It's because y'all not really fans.
Bingo.
Because
bingo.
It's easy to reference Pac and Big. That was national news.
Fact.
International news. Reference. Right. Absolutely.
Right.
Jay-Z and Nas was huge in our community, but it wasn't necessarily nothing happened for it to be newsworthy.
Right.
But when that makes me know that y'all are even lesser fans, because when you have a beef and J. Cole is involved in that beef, and J. Cole's fucking mentor is Jay-Z and his favorite rapper is Nas, and that's not a beef that comes to mind in any way, shape, or form. In the song, what up, Fabo? In the song, he used the goddamn setup that Jay-Z used against Nas in their beef, and none of you niggas was singing Jay-Z and Nas for a J. Cole beef. None of y'all not fans. Y'all not actually fans of the art form. Y'all might be fans of J. Cole, absolutely possible,
but they're not fans of the art form.
You could be. You're not fans of the art form. You don't care enough.
And you don't care. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's evident by even the way they're responding to the idea of rappers rapping against each other.
Right.
That tell me everything I need to know right there about a lot of them.
That's wild.
Like that's, again, some of y'all know about the more public stuff that took place because you're not intrinsically involved or invested in the art. So yeah, when something becomes pop culture relevant, that means it has transcended whatever source genre it was in, and now everybody knows about it, even people who don't routinely listen to the music. You can literally go to people who absolutely hate rap, don't listen to rap at all. They know about the Pac and Biggie thing.
They would know these, right? Because the negativity spreads faster. So
yeah,
if you can come at me in this conversation and reference Biggie and Pac, John and 50, what was it was another one I had in mind. The big ones that had violence involved with them. If you can come mention those to me, but you can't talk about what was it? Ludacris and T.I. Yeah. You can't talk to me about who the dude which pioneer was Nelly beefing with?
I have no idea. Oh,
I forget. Yeah, KRS and Nelly. Mm-hmm. Ones where there was absolutely no chance that any fucking violence was going to break out. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it didn't. You can't tell me about those. Clearly, you don't belong in the conversation.
Nah, and again, the only reason you're even having it, it's the only one reason they're having a conversation, bro. The only reason they're having a conversation is like a lot of other people. We talked about this on the show before too. So a conversation will take place about a certain topic, and then someone will co-opt that topic to bring in an agenda that they've had that has nothing really to do with this, but it's something they wanted to express, and they're using this as a vehicle to express that. So some of you got that black on black crime shit in your mouth. because it was marketed to be in your mouth, right? And you're finding a way to interject that into this in the most extreme way possible, especially considering the two artists that we're talking about here. We're talking about these two specific artists who are not known for that, and you're bringing all that in.
The worst part of it for me is that not only are these two specific people that are involved in this very specific situation that is almost unprecedented, not only are they not known for that, but again, as I say, overall, overwhelmingly, rap beef does not descend into violence.
Generate into violence. Nope.
Overwhelmingly. Like, it would be one thing if the narrative was actually true that rap beef generally leads to violence. And then you had these two people that might not necessarily be known for the violence, but you're still wary because this thing tends to lead to that. That would be a better, okay, all right, cool.
That would be acceptable. I would actually understand that better. I would understand that better.
No, we're talking about something that virtually never happens.
Can we? Like, is it safe to say?
All right,
hold on. Wait a minute. One last thing. Is it safe to say that even though J. Cole said he wasn't a conscious rapper, we identify J. Cole and Kendrick as more highbrow rappers?
Yes, but and also, J. Cole has changed his stance on that. He has now he has since accepted being a conscious rapper. So yes, absolutely. When you put out a song, when you put out an album like KOD, for those who don't know, shortly before KOD, one of Cole's I ain't gonna say many because there ain't been a bunch, but several back and forths with rappers was him dissing that newer mumble rap generation.
Oh yeah. You're right.
When you think about KOD, that whole concept of that album was, instead of me going at these niggas, let me try to help them. That was the entire concept of the KOD album.
I remember.
So I feel like probably around that time is when he started to accept the whole conscious thing. Because to be fair, I'm not mad at the people who claimed him to be a conscious rapper before he admitted to being a conscious rapper, because it kind of tracks. I get why they would say that. However, once the man comes and says that this ain't the case, let him. But again, he has since accepted that categorization. So yes, from these two people, and then for the person who put out To Pimp a Butterfly, no, we don't expect. Like, what? The nigga happens to be from Compton. Of course he's seen violence. Like,
yo, this is not Tim Dog and NWA. Like this,
right? Yo, funny enough, Kendrick is kind of in that Andre 3000 vein, where because Andre even said, I was listening to the Throw Some D's remix, because funny enough, Andre fits into this beef as well because Kendrick invoked his name in that verse. Also, Andre had this very specific point in time where he was doing a feature run, just like Cole is now, and he was killing all of them. And one of those opening lines that Andre said on that Throw Some D's remix was, "I'm a nigga from the hood, but not a hood nigga."
Right. Yo, can we hold up? Can we normalize? Can we normalize some of y'all admitting that? Because some of y'all think because you come from
that's
the
area,
me, right? Some of these dudes think because they come from the area, they trying to pass it off like they was involved in the skullduggery,
and the skirt,
and that's cool. You weren't, and that's cool. That doesn't mean you don't understand the rules because you're there. You see the shit that's going on. You absolutely do. But stop saying just because you was involved, you was living in the area, trying to then give the assumption that you was involved in the mess. A lot of y'all wasn't, and that's cool.
A
lot of y'all wasn't.
Did
you see this man? Did you just see this man just say with no qualms? No, I wasn't out there with that dumbass shit.
Nope.
There's nothing wrong with you saying that.
Friends that were involved, but
the older I get, the more ashamed of my involvement in the bullshit.
Right.
Just think about that. For those of you that want to claim something because you think it gives you something, the older I get, the more ashamed I am of the shit that I did.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Time for weekend review. What you got, man?
So, for me this week, I don't know if I mentioned this the last time. Possibly. Not sure. Friend of mine, if I didn't, let me catch everybody up. Friend of mine who I've known for years, since the 7th grade, in fact. Him and I had a conversation. And in this conversation, he was telling me about this MLM.
Oh.
For those of you who don't know what those initials mean, it's multi-level management. And in fact, it is pyramid scheming. That's
pyramid
what the fuck it is. It's
That's,
pyramid scheming.
What else? What else has multiple levels? Pyramid.
Yeah. Right. So, little background. He has always been a bit more interested in business than I was for a lot of years. Like maybe 2 years older than me. When he got past a certain age, that became his interest. And with that, he has involved himself in numerous types, but never the brick and mortar. Let me put that out there. Now, the first thing that he did that I thought was the most legitimate core business was he used to sell oils and incense. And this is back during the time when we were Muslims. And there's a certain marketing advantage you have back then as a Muslim selling oils and incense. Because the expectation from people, especially in our community, was, oh yeah, the Muslims, they be making them oils and stuff. No, we weren't. But that's a whole different thing, right? We were not we were buying it wholesale, selling it retail. Like, I don't know what the fuck motherfuckers was thinking, but that's what they thought. And it was not uncommon to see a Muslim brother walking down the street with the little bandolier thing going around with the oil things right here, and he's selling the oils. That was very, very common. And back then, people, they wanted that smell good. And one of the key marketing things for the smell good was that this is not alcohol based. It's not going to dry your skin out and fuck you up, right? So I remember when he was doing that, and he actually made a nice amount of money doing that shit. He could literally walk from walk around Hilton Parkway, get around there by Airedale and all that area, and come back. And when we came back, he had money because people saying, "Yo, let me get some of them. Yo, let me get some of them." Doing all right. Every other business after that, though, has been places like Prime America. What's the other motherfucking? It's another one too that is basically multi-level management. I cannot remember the name right now. But these are the things he was involved with. Or he would try to learn real estate. This is the longest class about how to do real estate I've ever seen in my life. For a guy to have been studying it for so long and never purchased one building to flip. Not one.
Yikes.
Even with those other multi-level management deals, he never got to a point where he was at a high level to multiple levels. It was never that. We grew older. And the reason I started getting more business minded because of my wife, honestly, right? My wife has ran several businesses before I knew her. All right. So me doing the music thing, she taught me how to best monetize what you're doing to get the most out of it. Right. I've said this numerous times. Tombstone the Dead Man is not one person. It's not one person. Several people. What's good? So that's Iron Woman, by the way. That's Iron Woman. So my understanding of business has come through both being taught the little bit I was taught in school, because I had a business curriculum when I graduated from Edmondson, but this is also Edmondson High School back then. So you got to take that shit with a grain of salt, right?
Sure.
You know, it was Edmondson High School in the 80s. All right, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. What's up, Paul? His ass. I know what he's referencing too. So I learned about that from my wife, and then saw the value in it, right? And then started a record company and all this other shit. Y'all know my basic history with that shit. Right now, comic book company, little clothing line company, whatever. Now I know, it seems, more about an actual practice of business than he does. Because in truth, all he's ever done was mostly, besides the old shit, fuck with this multi-level marketing shit. He hits me up saying that he wants me to be interviewed by his mentor. I said, about what? Well, he's going to try his pitch on you, and I'm supposed to be there to take notes. How he does what he does, that's what he says. I said, well, wouldn't it be more educational for you if an actual client who was interested was a hot lead, or even a lukewarm lead,
right,
for him to talk to them in front of you? I have zero interest in what he's selling. So I don't know that my questions for all of this will be as a one-to-one as a customer that is, right? Yeah, but I know I just need it so I can see the way I said, yeah, but don't he got clients? Ain't he making money already? Surely he's making money, because you said that he is your mentor, which means he has knowledge about this shit and has done this shit. Therefore, he must be making money. Of all the multi-level managements, he's the most multi-level managed, right? Is that surely that has to be the case. He started a whole bunch of hemming and hawing and blah, 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 blah. And I came to the realization that, nigga, it's not about you learning anything. This is about you trying to fulfill a qualification to move up higher in whatever it is you're doing. And this guy getting an attempt to throw some shit at me with the hopes that he would get me to either buy in to whatever he's selling or be on his team, so to speak. Just say that. Just say that. Now I'm gonna still tell you no. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that shit.
Thanks.
To pretend that I'm interested in something, I'm not doing that. But just come out and say that's what it is, B. I've known you too long. This is a grift. Say it's a grift. Yo, look, I'm trying to finesse this. I need to have a certain amount of people that I bring into an interview to do certain stuff. Tell me that. Because then I might say, all right, cool. I know I ain't fucking with it, but at least you'll get that particular qualification done, right? Don't try to play me like I'm one of them. Going out like Willie Lump Lump. You might ask, who the fuck is Willie Lump Lump? I don't know, but I'm not going out like them.
Don't talk like them. You're not like them. Even
if you'd like to be. See, to them, you're just a freak. Like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play with me. We too old for that.
Right.
Listen, in a couple of weeks, I'll be 55,000 years old.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? You are already 57,000 years old. Don't play. We know each other too long. We ain't got to. I done seen the whole thing. I done seen you kick ass. I done seen you get your ass kicked. You didn't see me kick ass. You didn't see me get my ass kicked. We done been through too much. Don't play. Come on, bro. Seriously. So he's been calling since after I said, nah, I denied his request. He's been calling since. And I haven't really been taking his calls because I feel a certain way about that. We're supposed to be better than that.
Yeah. Bruh. When you told me this shit, I was like,
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. And this other thing. Nigga, you know me.
Right.
Like, this guy don't know me from Adam. You know me. Period. You know you're not going. It's me, dog. You don't recognize me? Did you get hit in the head and got some sort of memory loss? It's me.
Yikes.
Yes. Napalm, yes. Yes. That, yes. Like, it might be a while before I take his call again.
I don't blame you.
It might be a while. We've been through too much. Too much for you to try that. Just say it.
Yeah.
Yo, look. This is what blah, blah, blah. Oh, word? Oh, all right, say less. Now, not admitting to any crimes here, but had I ever, at some point in my life, committed crimes, I would have done it with him.
Yo, that's an unintentional OJ reference. If I did it.
If at some point in my experience there may have been some crimes committed, hypothetically.
Right.
He's one of the ones I would have hypothetically have done that with. So you don't have to play me on some hustle stuff. If you still doing that at 57, I think it's weird.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, a little bit. But you always had Arrested Development. so maybe that's a come on, dog. It's me. Remember me, the guy, when somebody tried, but I came in with and you didn't get this is me. This is me. Me. Remember, I'm the guy who had to stay after school. My entire grade had to stay at the school because we were ass in the auditorium in junior high. Ass. We all had to stay at the school. He calls up to the school and says, "Yo, I got to get my cousin. He got a doctor's appointment. He got a doctor's appointment. He got me out of detention and shit. This is me. My God. Palm is funny. Yo, I remember you told me that. And it's the same thing, bro. Yo, it's the exact whatever he hit you with, it's the exact same thing he tried to hit me with. Now, he hasn't known Palm as long. He's known him long enough, though.
Right.
He met Palm when my kid was a little kid.
Right.
My daughter just turned 27.
Right.
All right. So, come on, B. Not me. Not me. I was appalled and dismayed at an entire display. And it might be a few more weeks before I'm taking this call. It might be. You know what I'm saying? Don't play me. PlayStation.
Yo,
don't play me. You know what I'm saying? Don't play me. And I'm gonna let that one ride as my weekend review because we at the 2-hour mark. I want man to get his shit off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, all right. All right. So the benefit
it's me, little bro.
Facts. Yo, the benefits of living where I work. So, like I said,
of living where you work.
Yeah, we're still settling. I mean, a little bit. We're still settling and dealing with. I mean, technically, yeah, it's technically true. And we're getting used to all the things that come with the new house and all that other stuff. Now, I've explained that I'm already over the idea of depending on the lady at the rental office to take care of my stuff. If I had any slight remorse for that, she killed it. She killed it. I went in there to tell her about little issues here and there with the unit. Her response was, as many times as you've been in there, why do you have a whole list? First of all, it is not my job to make sure the house is livable and that the things inside work. And when I say first of all, I mean that literally in the chain of events. If the crew would have done certain things that should have been done, I wouldn't have this list.
I mean,
wouldn't exist. Then the things we have issue with are things that you notice while living in a place. Could I have possibly found any of these things out? Sure, it's possible, but they aren't deal breakers and they aren't necessarily things that were readily apparent. I'll explain a couple of them. So the way our development is set up, the houses are connected to parking lots. Those parking lots are in the back of the houses. So the main door that everyone uses to go in and come out is the back door. Our particular lot has a lot of cars, so sometimes I'll park on the street. When I do park on the street, it makes more sense for me to come into the house from the front door. But leading up to us moving in, I've never really had the issue of the parking lot being full because I was always coming during work hours. Right. So there was never a reason for me to go in the front door. So I didn't realize that the front screen door has issues with opening and closing. No, there was no way for me to know.
Yeah.
So yes, that's on the list. Another one. The property is supposed to supply. The property is supposed to supply 2 trash cans to every house just before the people move in. Mm-hmm. I told her I didn't have any trash cans the week before my move-in date. I told her I didn't have any trash cans 4 days before my move-in date. Mm-hmm. So, yes, when I still don't have any trash cans going into my second week of actually living here,
it's on the list.
That's going to be on the list. There are big mailboxes at the entrance to each court. They have keys for each individual box that corresponds to a unit. This is also something that's supposed to be given to tenants before move-in. Take all the things I just said about the trash cans and apply them to the mailbox key. So when I don't have a mailbox key almost 2 weeks into me living in the unit, of course, it's going to go on the list. Before we moved in, I hadn't used the upstairs bathroom. I wasn't in here for those extended amount of time before we moved in.
Right.
I go to wash my hands one day after we moved in, and I realized that it takes forever for the hot water to come out of the sink. The tub doesn't have that issue, but the sink does. So yes, that's gonna be on the list. Like what? You just did your fucking job. That would be okay. All right. The benefit, though, is kind of dope. I told you. The benefits far outweigh her being a
Bad at her job?
Yeah, because of the relationships I have with the vast majority of people who have any power as it relates to this property, the issues that with her are effectively nullified. Like, I'm cool with the head of maintenance here. I've known him since I was like 14.
Right.
I'm cool with the second guy in charge with maintenance. I'm cool with the lead maintenance man. I've known him since I was like 16.
Right.
There are more, but you get the point. So a combination of that and the fact that some things about my unit weren't handled right, I'm just, getting new stuff left and right. Like the nigga, the nigga came in here. He's like, all right, so tell me, let's walk through the house and show me all the issues. I was like, oh, well, this is, okay, we'll get you a new one. All right, well, this one, okay, we'll get you a new one. Well, this thing has I think we'll get you a new one. Well, but this ain't like broke. It just isn't working optimally.
Right.
We'll get you a new one. So, like that benefit, because on top of me being cool with him, he also lives with the company. So he understands the perspective that, Chris,
this is hilarious.
Chrissy keep calling me spoiled because literally every time he comes back around, there's something new coming to the house. Like,
first of all,
the refrigerator.
I don't think being spoiled. Let's normalize. Let's normalize that people who are in charge of making sure that your place is okay, going above and beyond. Let's normalize.
That's the part about it. He wasn't at this property when this unit was made ready. So on top of everything else, us being cool and all the other type of stuff, he feels bad because this unit wasn't put together the way it should have been. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
We chose this unit. It was still a nice unit. It's just that, a little thing here and there is a little off. So, he was like, he several times, he's like, listen, if I was here, this would not have happened. I'm like, I know.
He's making sure that it's up to snuff because now his name on it. So, I feel.
Thanks. So that's all that. Creative, Justin EP, still streaming. Still available on Bandcamp. Soul Sessions, still streaming. Still, the deluxe version, still available on Bandcamp. That's in addition to all of the singles and all of the other albums and all of the other stuff that we had done. Go run all of our numbers up. We would greatly appreciate it. Still
also,
doing the TikTok thing.
I'm just gonna put this out there really fast.
Right.
Really fast. Multiple Entertainment released a rock album. It's called Celestial Reckoning. With our virtual band, Black Swan Rising. Go to Spotify and check it out, please.
Yeah, go check it out. Go check it out.
Go check it out.
Still doing the TikTok thing. This is the longest I've ever been consistent on TikTok, and it is absolutely the results are showing.
Nice.
So everybody that has not seen that yet, if you use TikTok, it's everything by SBJ, one word. Go check it out.
And by the way, go check out TikTok before it's gone.
Well, facts. That's the worst part about this. Like, I'm actually getting a little bit of traction on TikTok.
And they talking that bullshit. Yeah. Sucks.
I made a new character for my comic universe.
You did. This guy knows it. This character
nosy is the wrong. Nosy is the wrong. Nosy applies technically, but it's the wrong word to use. Yes, he can't. There's nothing he can do. But there's nothing he can do.
It's true. Nothing he can do. He's getting himself involved in places.
Hey, listen, it is what it is. Eventually, he'll have enough friends to where it shouldn't be an issue. But at first, it's going to be some problems. Yeah, it's going to be some problems. Work. The return. This was my first week back to work.
The return.
0 stars, don't recommend. It's going to take me a little while to get used to this new commute. At the time I wrote this note, I had gone to work 3 times from here. The first time, school was still out, so traffic wasn't really that much of an issue. The second time, traffic was noticeably heavier going in once I got to that main street. But it was one of the days of the week where I travel, so when I'm on my side of town, the office at this property is my last stop. So ain't no traffic leaving work. I'm just driving around the corner. So
right.
But the third day was Wednesday. It all came to a head. On my way to work, traffic was heavy at every single point. Every single point. But that drive home, nigga, it's been a very long time since I experienced that kind of annoyance and anxiety while coming home from work. So from downtown, after work, so peak hours, coming from downtown, going to my old place, took about 10, 15 minutes, the majority of the time.
Right.
I now currently only live 7 to 10 minutes away from my old place.
Wow.
It took me 40 minutes to get home.
Wow.
It always makes me wonder.
40 minutes, bro.
40 minutes, bro. It always makes me wonder where the fuck traffic comes from. Absolutely, yes, bad street planning has something to do with it. Absolutely, the fact that Baltimore is literally in a perpetual state of construction has something to do with it. But if I had to guess, and I can't prove it, but I definitely see it, it's the people. It's Woodlawn.
He's out Woodlawn. Oh, where one of my homegirls is out there.
It's people. It's y'all. It's y'all terrible drivers that is the reason that traffic accumulates the way that it does in the cities. You have situations where people are trying to like dip in and out of actual traffic. If you're driving and it's regular medium levels of traffic, you can go ahead and do the little dip in, dip out. You can do that. It makes sense. It makes total sense. But when it's rush hour, you can't effectively dip in and out of traffic. That's not really a thing that you can really do. You aren't helping you, and you're hurting other people. Because you overestimate either your ability to drive or your car's abilities. So now you've jumped into this parking lane because you didn't see any cars in the parking lane. So you're driving in the parking lane and oh no, here comes a car. Imagine that there's a car parked in the parking lane. What are the chances that could possibly happen? It's in the name. So now you run into a car that is parked, and you now have 2 choices. You either have to cut somebody off, or someone has to inconvenience everybody behind them to let you into the lane of traffic that you willingly left.
Right.
Like, what are we? Why? You're not helping. You're not getting to your destination any quicker. There might be a zero-sum there, but there might be a zero-sum there, possibly. But if I had to guess, you're probably making your commute longer by doing it.
I would say so. I would say so.
So, traffic, like gridlock traffic, is one of the most annoying things. I have an irrational hatred of being in my car where I'm supposed to be traveling and not moving. Like, I know it's irrational.
I'll be right back. Keep going.
The idea itself is not irrational. How angry it makes me is what's irrational about it. Like, I'm in my car, my transmission is in drive. If there's not a red light or a stop sign, I should be able to be moving. Should not be sitting still. My foot should not be resting on the brake. That's just how I feel about driving. So Pump said Baltimoreans stay speeding to get to a red light. Yo, it's not. It's even worse than that nowadays. They be speeding to go through red lights. Like, I legitimately saw this vehicle just yesterday. Go get to the red light, look left. It was not a one-way street. Didn't never looked right. Just looked left. Didn't see any cars coming and drove through the red light. And I'm like, what? Why? Why are you can't possibly be in that much of a rush. Like, and like I mentioned before, like on 1 hour episodes, I explained about the whole process that goes through getting to work from my old place and how I had the whole thing mapped out for like a peak efficiency. Because again, it's not about me getting anywhere fast. It's about me spending as little time in my vehicle stop as possible while I'm supposed to be driving. Like, that's the sole motivation. Like, when I'm by myself, that is the number one goal, to not be in this goddamn vehicle sitting idle. Now, if I have somebody in the car, that goal goes down a little bit because I'm not about to put people in danger unnecessarily. I don't know. I personally, I've had my car for 8 years. I've never hit another vehicle.
Never. No, I'm laughing at the idea of the pathological condition you have about not being. No,
it's so irrational. The level to which I hate this thing is purely irrational. Like, it's crazy talk. It happens to also be the truth. So it is what it is.
The benefit of being true. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't like like I said, when somebody's in the car with me, that need goes down a couple notches. Like I said, I'm not about to put people in danger or anything. Right. And when I say that, it makes it seem like I feel like I'm putting myself in danger. That's not the case. Again, I've had this car for 8 years and I have never hit another vehicle.
Right.
So that's not, I do not believe that I'm putting myself in danger when I'm in the car by myself. It's just that I'll take more calculated risks that I wouldn't even think about doing when I had somebody else in the car. That's that type of thing. Yeah, like if and the level of discernment goes up depending who the other person is that's in the car.
That's true.
If it's kids in the car, yeah. Like if it's kids in the car, I'm driving Miss Daisy. Not quite that slow, but like I'm chilling. Like I get the sense. There is no rush. Yeah. So that was that. Also another thing that so I work like where I work across, like if you cross the street, walk to the corner and cross that street, the courthouse is right there. So people do jury duty or whatever when they get their lunch. Generally in cities, there happen to be food trucks around to take advantage of that, that burst of people coming outside. Also, there are other businesses around there, so they get to take advantage of that. They rack up money during lunchtime. So there's this one that's always there, has been there for as long as I remember working downtown. But recently, a new one came, and it was a Jamaican one. And I'm like, oh man, I gotta try that out. I love Jamaican food. I will never go there again.
Oh man.
And the food's good. The food's good. The food is good.
But what
the issue is, I walk outside because it's not there every day. So I walk outside this particular day. It's there. I'm like, yep, that's what I'm about to do. I ain't bring no lunch. So it was either going to be the Jamaican truck or the halal truck. One of the two. Halal truck is there every single day without fail. So, and it's not like I'm settling. I love what I get from there. So win-win. But if I saw the Jamaican truck, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try them. Get out there. It's out there. Like, there ain't no line either. What? Because, like I said, it's not there every day. So quite a few times when I see it, there's a line. Wasn't no line. It's gonna be the first person be able to just walk up, ask for my food, get my food, dip out. Amazing. It's gonna sound bad until I explain. I don't really care. I walk up to the window and I'm greeted by a Karen.
Oh, man.
And when I say Karen, I don't just mean a white woman. I mean a white woman who fits the stereotypes of the Karen caricature.
Even her name.
Actually, no, I don't remember what her name is. I don't remember what her name is. So I'm like, this is crazy. But there was a Jamaican guy in the truck. So I'm like, okay, that's still weird to me. Because, like, if you got a food truck and it's a Jamaican food truck, I feel like there shouldn't be a white bread, whether the person's actually white or not. I feel like there shouldn't be a white bread person, a white bread super Americanized human being selling it to me. That's
it reminds me of Kimmy's in the village. They had the soul food up there.
Yes.
It's all
yes. Right.
It's a little
except hold up. Except there's a link to that though. There's a link for that. The whole us going over there during wars and Vietnam and Korea and all that, and teaching them how to cook and blah blah. So there's at least a link to that.
And it's not.
Oh no,
because the food be good.
Right,
the food be good. But
absolutely. Kimmy's It's just the like. Oh no, you meant soul, like SEO. No,
not
so
ass.
So, but here's the thing: I know of no such link for American white people in Jamaica.
And Jamaican food, right.
Yeah, I know of no such link. So that rings alarms. But again, like I said, it was a Jamaican dude in there cooking. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll go ahead and eat this one time. I'll try it out.
Right.
Like I said, the food was good. However, the portions.
You a grown man, they giving you kids table ass plates.
I got curry chicken, rice and peas, and cabbage. It was like this much cabbage, like this much rice, and it was like 3 pieces of actual chicken, bone in. So that means there's even less meat for $20.
That's bro. That don't make no fucking sense.
I was like, I'm never coming here again. The food was good. I'm not coming here again. What? I'm be hungry after I finish.
Right.
I'm not a fan of spending $20 and still being hungry afterwards.
Look, meanwhile, they gave you small portions, but the price is probably for a bigger portion.
Facts, Paul. Most Jamaican spots tend to overfeed you.
Yeah.
Literally, there's a Chipotle style. Like when I say Chipotle style, I mean like how the setup is in Chipotle. There's a Chipotle style Jamaican spot around the corner from where I used to be. And when you walk in there, you see Jamaicans. When I buy my food, the plate, I bought a plate of almost the same thing I just had. in addition to two beef patties and a soda, and that's 2 meals. It's not 1 meal. That's two. That's not a portion of a meal. That's 2 meals.
Right.
So like, what do you? No, never again. No, what? So
and then you from Baltimore, so you used to Lexington fucking giving you huge portions of food.
Facts. And it's like, nah, what? What are you talking about? Facts. Paul said the styrofoam be crackling from the weight of the food. That's facts. That's a fact. It's facts.
That's a fact.
Not in this situation. I was holding it by the corner. That styrofoam was level. That shit didn't bend. That shit didn't bend at all. So, back to talking about these looking for new software for work and shit. The one company, I felt a little bad, and then I didn't. The company that we had actually, in talks with and had several meetings with, they might be out the running now. They might be out the running. But that's not why I felt bad. That's strictly business. The reason I felt slightly bad at one point was because I kept trying to drill into this guy's head that the best way to get in contact with me is to email me. I call, email. Again, not just because I don't like talking on the phone, but also I only work downtown all day, 1 day out of the week. In that 1 day, I'm still not at my desk all day.
Right.
So it's not very, but there's a decent chance that if you call me at any time of the day, I might not be at my desk. So now I've missed your call when you could have just sent me an email with exactly what you wanted, and I could have gotten back to you when I got the email.
Right.
So, he finally may have gotten the point, and then he got blocked from emailing us. Like, for some reason, our firewall blocked his domain. So I get that straightened out. The problem is it doesn't show me emails that I've missed. But he happened to send me an email shortly after I got it straightened out. What did this email say? Hey, I left you a voicemail. Call me. Mind you, our last actual communication before that point was me telling him to give me a couple of dates that he was available so that we could set up the next meeting. Did he do that at any point? I don't know. It may possibly be in one of those emails he sent me while he was blocked. But if it was, when you send me another email, why would it be call me?
Yeah, facts.
Why wouldn't it be, hey, I was just checking to see if you got my email, such and such, such and such. These are the dates that I have. No.
That's facts.
So at this point, if we end up going with another company, he'll only have himself to blame because that pissed me off, and I didn't get back to him because I was like, what are you doing? Also, that same day, we happened to have a meeting with another company. This company is by far
superior,
the best initial meeting we've had with any of these companies in this entire 3-year process. By far. I like how their software works. It serves every purpose that the current system that we have fails at. The people that presented it were professional. They were knowledgeable. They were to the point. With this other guy, I tell him something we did. I asked him about the product. Oh, I don't know that. I'm going to have to get back to you. Oh, I don't know that. I'm going to have to get back to you. Oh, I'm going to have to get that answer from this person over. No. In this meeting, every question we asked, the two people that were on the call knew the answer to.
They were on point.
Yes. They didn't ask a bunch of questions about their competitors. Because like I said, the other dude, well, how was this working with the other company?
They also didn't try to invite you.
We're not talking about the other company. We're not with. That's that other fucking company. So actually, but they did. The funny thing about that is they did bring up this. What is it? What do they call it? Summit.
Oh,
whatever they call it when like they have it yearly where they have people come out because this is another big company. They have this yearly thing where they have clients and potential clients come and they put it on this big presentation about what's to come with their platform and all that stuff. They did invite us to that. It's in Palm Springs. My boss looked like
oh no, nigga,
she was willing. Listen, my boss looked like she was willing to go ahead and if she
you need to exert,
then I'm
you need to exert some influence over there. Palm Springs?
Right. I'm like, this is yeah. Okay. And it would be a business expense. They could write that off.
Bingo, Jack.
So she looked like she might be willing.
Paul, exactly.
She looked like she might be willing to go ahead and set that up.
Here is one problem, though, potential problem. I don't know that it is a problem. You don't want to go down there and be stuck in a goddamn building all damn day with some shit.
You're right.
You know.
Here's the thing. If we choose that we are going to do this, regardless, I'm going to go. However,
we know you Cali ass nigga.
Facts. Fuck out of here, cut. So we if the decision is made that we are going to be able to be sent there, I am going to go.
Right.
The thing is, I'm going to absolutely I'm going to absolutely inquire about what free time would look like.
Yeah.
Because sure, I am absolutely interested because I am vested in this process.
Absolutely.
However,
it's Palm Springs, motherfucker.
Right. I ain't never been to Palm Springs.
It's Palm Springs. Fuck that. Because you know,
you'll see this as well.
You will see this a lot sometimes with people go down for these timeshares where they have these little things. So you down, they say, you get a trip down to such and such. And you know, all you got to do is go to these meetings and blah blah blah. They try and you wind up these meetings a fucking 8 hour 10 hour meeting.
Right.
Nah.
So I'm hoping
it's me Springs
that I'm hoping she makes my boss makes the decision to go ahead and set that up for us. But again, outside of it, the company themselves, that meeting went amazingly. Like they didn't try to force us or push us in any particular direction. They simply asked about our needs and expressed how they can meet them while walking us through their software.
That's dope.
That's how these damn meetings should go.
Yeah,
with that last company, we've had like 5 meetings, and I'm less sure that they will be a fit for us than I am about this new company.
At one meeting,
because again, this motherfucker don't know all the things that he should know. I feel like the way that they have it set, their structure set up, is their sales guy is literally just a sales guy. So, ain't there a song that says it never rains in Southern California? I'm gonna be on my SoCal shit. Thanks. Yeah, I think she said it's. I think the lady said it's in November or something like that.
You said that's a lie.
Ass. Yeah, I think the lady with the company said it was in November or something like that. So, we'll see what happens.
Good time to escape.
Absolutely. I wanted to bring up this dumbass obviously we already did it with J. Cole and his stance, but I got another one because people be weird I gotta go back far enough because no, it's not. Where is it? It was here we go. I went. It was a nigga I ended up going back and forth with.
Mm-hmm.
So, the original post was deleted. God darn it! It's fine. I have a vague memory of what it was.
Okay.
So, the original post was a lady who posted a picture of their child in nothing but underwear, catching a picture of them like jumping off of the dresser onto the bed. And her point was not arguing. Her point was fussing about, the kids, being kids. And not like fussing, like it was all in good fun. Her intent.
Yeah, just
all in good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just a random thing you get on the internet and you complain about a thing, but she's not actually really complaining about it, like that type of thing. The problem is, I ran across this post. I didn't run across her post. I ran across a post that quoted her post, saying something to the effect of, y'all really have to stop posting y'all children on the internet like this, in this way, in this form or fashion. And it said, just look at how many times this post has been bookmarked. And I was like, yo, that's a great fucking point. That's a great point. So somebody goes on to her post and says, why do the first thing that comes to your mind is something bad? I know the world is a vile place, but it's more worrisome when the first thing you think of is something vile. Bookmark might be the bed design or the paint color. Look, listen to me. Wait. No. Listen to me clearly. If you're a person, if you see a picture that a person posted, this isn't a company, this is on Twitter, random person posted, and you're interested in the bed that they have in the picture or the color of paint that they have on their walls, do you think it's appropriate to A, bookmark that picture and interact with it anonymously, or B, ask that person about those things you're interested in? Which makes more sense? Which one is the actual average good faith person doing? So she responded to him and said, I live in the real world. She should delete this, and that's it. No fairy tale lens or any amount of trying to see this optimistically is going to change my stance or the fact that the vast majority of those bookmarks are probably sick ass pedos. Somebody else says, somebody else co-signs her, says exactly. As a good parent, your instinct is always to protect your child. No good parent is going to put their naked child on the internet with only I'm sorry. If they didn't have the underwear on, there was an emoji. There was an emoji blocking his nether region. And she said, no good parent is going to put their naked... No, he ain't nothing on. No good parent is going to put their naked child on the internet with only an emoji covering their private area that was added in an app and can be removed with an app. If you don't understand that, then I don't know what to tell you. So he says, no offense, but I went through your media. You have 40 bookmarks on this. Why aren't you worried about the 40 bookmarks? Or do you think you're safer than child? It was a picture of her in a fucking swimsuit. So someone else asked him, my question to you is, why are you defending this so hard, my guy? You're making me think you're one of the weirdos that bookmarked that tweet. When it comes to children, bruh, when it comes to children, it's better to err on the side of caution. The world isn't rainbows and unicorns. People are sick. He responds, he says, if that's what you think, okay, you've caught me. People are sick, but none of you showed me one sick comment in the caption. So the pic should be taken down because he says, so the pic should be taken down because of imaginary sick people and not an actual comment.
So you think that somebody was going to actually get on there and make a comment and out themselves? You fucking hump.
So
bro,
she responds to him and says, the point of the bookmark is to privately save it. You think someone who intends to use that picture for something bad is going to state their intention in the comments? Like I said earlier, you're not bright. So he reiterates, because she never responded to when he said it the first time, oh, bright one. So the 40 bookmarks on your picture are doing something bad with it and you're cool with it to have it left there? And she says, rightfully, comparing an adult who consents to posting their own fully clothed pictures on an account I made for myself to a naked child who cannot consent on an account that the child did not make is the same to you? Is that what that brain of yours is putting together? This is when I entered the chat.
I'm sure.
And I say he's clearly committed to misunderstanding you. It ain't worth your time. Because they were literally going back. I'm like, look, I didn't even come in how I normally would come into a situation.
Right.
I came in on my J. Cole shit, like mature and censored and with inner peace. Like, hey, Queen, he's clearly committed to misunderstanding you. It ain't even worth your time. He responds to me.
Of course he does.
And says, a typical response for kids, and then puts in quotes, misunderstanding. Well, no, sir. You're a bad faith actor. You understand exactly what's being said. It just doesn't fit your narrative, so you're feigning ignorance. His response was, only if y'all had this energy with Pampers and other ads where children are also naked. Y'all are weird, to be honest.
Y'all weird.
And I said to him, you can't be this thick. You pretend to not know the difference between it being a child or an adult. Then when you get called out for that, you suddenly understand the issue with it being a child and try to all lives matter with check notes, ads. Good day, sir.
I said good day.
He says, well, he says only sickos see a pic of a child and the first thing that comes to their mind is naked. And I said to him, I bet you don't even realize how you just proved all of our points. You got it, chat. Only a sicko would look at a picture of a child and think naked. Yes. It's kind of what we're saying to you.
Hold up. If a child, he fucked with the wrong one.
Yeah. Like the point that we're making to you is
Ric Flair used to say,
like the people,
it's easier to jump on than it is to jump off.
Yes.
Y'all made him look like a complete idiot, and he doesn't get it. The elevator never went all the way to the floor it was supposed to. Like, bruh, yes, you're proving the point that we're making, that 6 people are going to see this picture and have thoughts about it and do things potentially and not. Yeah.
That's why it shouldn't be. And I believe that the picture has been deleted by now, so that's good. But it's like, bro,
he fought extra hard to get her to not do it. And this is the point where I say, I'm looking at you. Cause see, a lot of y'all be doing this. A lot of y'all be doing this type of thing where some of your defenses for other people are defenses for yourself. Y'all be doing that a lot.
If someone, because I went to the original post and I looked at the comments, and there were some people who had the legitimate argument, though short-sighted, still legitimate argument, that this is just a picture posted on social media for fun. Absolutely. I understand your argument, and your argument is a valid argument. I have a counterpoint, but your argument, at least you're not being disingenuous. That is fine. For you to go any further than that, you're not being genuine, or you're defending yourself.
I'll take defending yourself for 500. He went too hard, B. He went too hard. People were warning her to protect her kids, from these sickos out here, and instead of him automatically thinking, well, yeah, err on the side of protection of the kids, you want these pictures or video ending up on some of these dumbass sites and shit, but they do this shit. Like, instead of him doing that, he sat and went many comments combating the idea of her doing that, and then combating you and the other woman. And it's like, why do you have all the energy for this today, sir?
Bruh. The worst part, I can't even say the worst part. The most egregious part, why are you comparing this to a grown woman putting pictures of herself in a women's suit? Like, I don't. What?
That's a grown
Where
woman.
do you feel like, I don't. So you think you're safer than a child? Well,
he has problems with consent, my guy, and that's a red flag. He has problems with consent, and that's a red flag. That's a red flag.
No, actually type the words. And like I said earlier, this is why I take this shit seriously when y'all put this shit on the internet, because you had to type it.
That's right.
Before you sent it. And how many times you could have deleted?
I was about to say, how many times have you started typing something and then thought better of it? You know what? No.
Right.
So nah, you let that go.
This nigga is saying, yeah, but this nigga be like, oh, you think you're safer than a child? What do you mean by that?
Safer from who?
Yo,
my God. He's ass, yo. He's ass.
First of all, the answer is yes. Again, that's the point that we're making, is that the children need to be protected. And you as the grown woman, she has a little bit more. Yeah, she has a little bit, more than a little bit, but she has more capabilities to protect herself than a child that doesn't even know their picture is there.
Yeah. Like, what are you fucking talking about, you fucking dweeb? What are you talking about? Yeah, he's definitely dumbass of the week. That's worse than anything. Cole, that's rap shit.
This shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
People, yo. I swear, man. People stay
and without giving away too much to the general audience that listens to our show, this is the reason that I made the character that I just made.
Yeah.
This is the exact reason. This profound sadness. It's the absolute fucking worst. And you know how, like, you're in a situation where you want someone to empathize with you and sympathize with you, but that's like it's like a bucket. Once you get the amount of people that are available to empathize and sympathize, and the shit keep filling up, it still won't end up overflowing.
Yeah,
so
because it's a lot. It's a lot. It's and that's the thing. I don't bring you half of the dumb shit I say.
Right.
Because it's too much.
Exactly.
It's too much.
Exactly.
It's
like
too much.
A little peek into the behind the scenes. Tim and I use some version of the phrase profound sadness at least once a week.
Facts.
At least.
Facts.
Like,
Facts.
It's just, bruh. And it's like, this character will allow me to express
that feeling through the character. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's hot. That's
like,
hot.
Bro.
Yeah, because, man, at a certain point, you understand why creatives try to use their creativity as a vehicle many times for expression of thoughts they've been having, observation, shit like that, because it's just overflowing. And it's only so much of the talking to other people that get it. It's not really a lot of people that do get it.
Right.
So and it's so much of it, you try to find other outlets to let that shit. It's bad. When you are a super observant person and you observe human nature and you see some of the shit, and this is the other thing, because it's typically the small amount of people that drag everybody else along. What that tells you is there's a heaping pile of human debris, right? That their minds are just not like, and we ain't talking about you necessarily needing to be a genius. It's just some of this stuff.
No.
Yeah, it's not. Some of this stuff is like, it's really bad. It's bad form. And it's like, you don't see that. And then when you see people go down rabbit holes and carry everybody else with them down a rabbit hole, somehow I think the reason that happens is because there is a alarming inability to process information amongst the masses.
Yes.
It's alarming.
Yes.
It's alarming.
But I would like to use another word other than inability.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to use, because there should exist a term that splits the reason between two things.
With the accountability.
One of the things is the inability. The other thing is that old adage, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, they want it. They want it. They want to not be able to, because they want, it's like they chase the low road all the fucking time. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna keep 100 with you guys all the time. Sometimes I chase the low road if I'm angry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm mad. Like, I'm going to go there. But then at some point, before it gets to a point where my credibility comes at stake, because I've told you guys before, I value my credibility over my opinions. I'm not going to put something out that I really don't, like, I haven't done any sort of research in without putting a caveat on it. Well, I ain't really looking into this, but what it's looking like right now to me, from what I know right now, these caveats do matter. They matter. Because I've seen, like you said earlier, the complete inability, and sometimes the not inability, but they literally just don't want to. For them to take things out of context, like, it's striking. It's a lot of that going on. And you got to be careful how you set your caveats, because people will take, you make these sweeping claims, even though that's not what you really mean, but that's what came out of your mouth. They're going to take that and they're going to run with that shit all the time. And I don't want to be responsible. I don't want any platform that I created or help create to be a platform that helps jump off ignorance to a point where it then becomes influential and it just spreads throughout the masses like a fucking virus. Like, and I see too many people doing that shit. That's why I'm hard on Joe Budden and the Breakfast Club and a lot of shit that they do. The people that they platform. It's like, yo, you have an undue influence on a significant segment of the populace, a particular segment of the populace that I deal with on a regular basis. And you're poisoning the well, right? Yo, Ogma's ass. He said, I'm here now. And as Tombstone's lawyer, I can confirm that he always conducts himself with the highest level of dignity and patience. Here.
As one of Tombstone's closest friends, I can assure you that is not the case.
Listen. Two things.
Okay. All right. Oh my God. But yeah, that's I only added the part that the end part. I tried to not end this on such a down note, but I think all just gave us the perfect
It did. It's so ass, yo. It's so ass, man.
Thanks.
And to leave stuff on a even better good note, because profound sadness and all that shit. Don't forget that we got music. It's always music. It's all over the place. Go listen to it. Go check it out. And that hopefully will make you feel better. Although some of the topics I cover in the music will make you feel worse. But it is what it is. We want to thank all of our listeners for once again joining us on another rousing edition of the Black Culture Geeks Saturday morning cartoon block. Be sure to go check out my sister, his significant other, Chrissy's podcast. Heard it through the grapevine. Definitely check that out. They are consistent. The shit is funny. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I go on this. Sometimes I forget it's on. And like, oh shit, it's on. I go click on the red. Every time I do, it's something funny. They saying something funny, something that I find remarkably humorous, right? So go check them out. Don't forget my man Super Side Guys, Metas and Mutants podcast. Him and his, I'm just gonna call Hendrick his co-host at this point, right?
Yeah.
His co-host Hendrick, you know what I'm saying? Go check them out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, don't forget, if you have not already, go check out comics.shop. Get a book.
Absolutely.
If you haven't, we are working on the this is the third book in the series, but it's actually issue number 2. We're currently working on that. Right. Those of you that have supported that Kickstarter, we thank you for your patience. And yeah, I think that's it. So for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.
Peace.